time, without blitzing, teams have put pressure on Sellers. So if you don't blitz, yeah, maybe your front four can follow through and put pressure on him. But then again, are you not helping out South Carolina's offensive line? But if you do blitz and you don't cover the middle of the field with somebody, and if you leave a spy there, then you're sort of weakening your coverage. What do you do? What do you do if you're Tom Allen?
It's a great question. You've got to help your back end, though. I mean, Lenoris has not been great throwing the ball this season. I think we'd all agree with that. He's been late at times. He's overthrown open receivers. But what you don't want to have happen is Nick Harbor go running past one of your defensive backs and be wide open, and Lenoris be able to hook up with him, and an 80-yard touchdown pass sort of ignites that crowd. Because the one thing I think the Clemson defense can do early, which it has done going back to 2015, I guess, they've been able to take the crowd out of the ball game and sort of establish themselves early. You think back to all the games here lately for Clemson, it's always been some mistake that South Carolina seems to make. The pick six, they get a stop, but then they punt, they get another stop, and then Clemson, gets a turnover and they score. South Carolina's got to find a way to get Lenoris into the game and also get that entire team into the game. I think the first quarter tomorrow may dictate how that game plays out.
Yeah. All right, let's go to Joel in Florence. Next with us here on Sports Talk on this Friday night, the eve of the big game. Joel, welcome in. How are you?
I'm doing great, Bill. I just want to tell you, it was really good to see you at Rivals Wednesday morning, and that was a really, really good show that you and Ken and Bad Boy and a host of other characters. I just want to know why Bergie wasn't there.
Yeah, Bergie, why weren't you there?
I don't like to get up that early, Joel. I used to do morning radio. I passed that I gave that up for Lent years ago.
Well, you missed a great time. But, Phil, I'm almost as old as you are. And now that social media is dominating so much, I have to say, I'm a lifelong Gamecock fan, but I think both fan bases are scared to death of their teams this year. This is the least amount of trash talking I have ever seen the week before the Carolina-Clemson game.
Really?
Neither fan base is talking any smack.
Okay. Maybe they're saving it for the game. Maybe they're saving their best stuff for Saturday. Or, like you said, maybe they feel like neither one has enough weapons, enough bullets in the holster, to be able to back it up. So it's really a game that really is up in the air. And that's where they've been the last few years for the most part. There's not a clear-cut favorite going into this thing. That's why the line is as low as it is. It could go either way. It really could. I think South Carolina, as I said first of the week, I've got them 24-17. I really haven't wavered from that. I think South Carolina has just a little bit more going for it. I think they're tested more than Clemson is because of the schedule. I think they showed that they can play with the best teams in the country. They've just not had the formula to beat them this year. But I think they've showed that they can hang with them and beat them. And Clemson is not one of those, not to this point. So that's kind of why I'm leaning towards the Gamecocks. Plus, the home field thing's got to end sooner or later. It's got to end sooner or later.
Yeah. Well, Bill, this is game 12, so I'm not so much into the battle tested, but I will say this. I do think with South Carolina being in the SEC, I think they are used to the speed that I think they've seen the speed of other teams a lot better all year long than Clemson has. So that's why I'm going to go with South Carolina 20, Clemson 14, based on the speed.
South Carolina 20, Clemson 14.
Yes. Yes, sir.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Thanks,
okay.
Joel.
We got recruiting coming up after the break. We've taken a bunch of predictions this week, all week long, even going back to last week. We've taken a bunch of predictions. Many of them coming through on the text messages, and of course many coming to us through the phone lines. So we've taken a bunch of predictions, a lot of good predictions, well thought out predictions, but there's only one way tonight to wrap up the predictions, because now the predictions, it's all about playing the game now. We've done the predictions. It's all about playing the game. But there's only one way to wrap up all the predictions of the week with one final prediction on the Palmetto Bowl.
I ain't going to talk no trash, but I'm going to tell you, Palmetto Bowl coming up this coming Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And the last time we was up there,
from the Florence Toyota Studios, this is WOLH Florence, 96.3 ESPN Radio, the worldwide leader in sports.
Welcome to the 96.3 ESPN Radio High School Football Game of the Week. Catch the action all season long from your favorite Florence high school football teams. Brought to you in part by Galloway Auto Glass, Stoudemire Dowling Funeral Home, Adams Metal Building Supply, Rivals, a store divided. And now, with all the exciting play-by-play action, here's James Fisher and Chuck Lawson.
Hello and welcome to the 96.3 ESPN Radio's South Carolina High School Football Game of the Week, and we've reached the state semifinals, the lower state championship, here at the end of South Derby Street in Florence. Only 4 teams remain in 4A, and tonight it's a premier showdown. The 11-2 Gray Collegiate War Eagles taking on the 12-1 defending state champion South Florence Bruins. Gray Collegiate makes the trip from Columbia with confidence and momentum, led by second-year head coach D'Angelo Bryant and a roster stacked with athletes. Their team is balanced, explosive, and filled with young, talented skill players. This is a War Eagle team that expects to be here and to be in the state championship game next week. South Florence, meanwhile, is chasing a spot in the state championship for the 3rd time in 4 years and a 4th straight lower state championship. Head coach Drew Marlowe, in his 6th season, continues to prove he has built one of the powerhouse programs in South Carolina. Led by an experienced group of seniors and a championship culture, the Bruins have prepared all year for moments like this. 2 elite programs and 2 very different paths to this stage. And tonight, only one moves on to play for the 4A state championship. I'm James Fisher, joined as always by my partner Chuck Lawson. And Chuck, we finally made it to the state semifinals, and we've got an amazing matchup with us tonight.
Yes, we do, James. This is going to be the most exciting game that you and I have called together, no doubt about it. 2 of the most powerhouse programs in the state. Gray Collegiate is also a powerhouse, right? Last year they were ineligible for the playoffs due to some things that I don't want to get into, but they were ineligible for the playoffs, so they couldn't make it. However, they have always been a dominant program. They are a private school that does get certain recruits and are able to get a powerhouse team. So this game right here, they've got a freshman that you're going to talk about a little bit in a minute. He's phenomenal, but he is a freshman, and so therefore I do want to see what kind of action we get from him tonight, James, because it's all on the line tonight. This is it. If you lose, you go home. If you're a senior, it's over. This will be the last time either one of these teams play in Brewer Stadium this year. So even seniors, this is their last chance. They should be giving it all if you're South Florence. And to me, I'm hoping that South Florence is able to pull this off tonight.
Absolutely. We definitely will be trying to cheer on the Bruins here, as they will be, if successful, winning this lower state semifinal. They will be playing in Orangeburg next week on Saturday at noon for the state championship. The other side of that coin will be the upper state championship, which is West Side versus South Point. We'll be providing a lot of updates along that game for most of tonight. Obviously, West Side, we're quite familiar with them. The Bruins won their state championship last year against West Side. But you mentioned, Chuck, the Gray Collegiate offense. They are a young group, and none other led by a freshman quarterback, Xavier Wright, taking over for their senior Tyler Waller after he was injured against Dutch Fork, which is the last time this team has lost. Xavier Wright has been very impressive this year, over 64% completion percentage, 2,100 yards, 22 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He's got 309 yards on the ground and 3 touchdowns. He is a lefty quarterback. He is already gaining D1 attention from South Carolina, North Carolina State, Florida State. So this freshman, how will he play against this talented Bruin defense? Ton of seniors, but obviously this will be Xavier Wright's first real big moment in a championship type experience.
Well, as a freshman, he is one lucky son of a gun, to be honest with you, James, because he has one of the top 20 running backs in the state as a junior. He has Trevon Williamson running back. He is pretty phenomenal. I've watched footage on them with Hilton Head and then also with Hartsville. He's a power back. He's very, very strong. As you said, I even going to quote out your notes because I'm going to give you credit, but he had over 4,000 yards in his career already as a junior. 1,600 yards this year on 226 carries with 25 TDs. He is a Gilbert transfer, which was surprising.
Yep.
I didn't know that. With that said, he is their, like you call it, bell cow back, and he does have offers already from Coastal Carolina University. I think he's going to have to depend on that leadership of somebody who's a little bit older than him to kind of help carry the weight as a freshman. You got to have that running game if you're going to be great collegiate. You're going to have to run somehow up the middle against South Florence. Nobody's done it yet, James. I don't know if they can or not.
Easier said than done for sure, Chuck. This Bruins team is identified by their physicality both on offense and defense. Coach Marlowe, in an interview last week before the North Augusta game, said in an interview, this time of year, it's all about who can block and who can tackle. Whichever team does that the best is going to win. Is it really that simple, Chuck, to win a game like this?
No, I think Drew Marlowe does have his point right there, but I think there's also other things to add into it. Not only is it who's going to tackle the best, it's also who's going to be the most disciplined. What kind of penalty is going to affect this game? And that's what we've seen over and over in high school games where penalties affect drives, penalties stall drives. Penalties do a lot in this game, and that's where the discipline has to come in as well to me. I don't think it's just tackling.
The captains taking the middle of the field for the Bruins. It is number 2, the senior defensive back who had 3 touchdowns on defense last week, Amari Reeves. Their senior quarterback, number 7, Messiah Jackson. Their defensive player of the year for the region, Terry Gordon, number 10, and their first team all-region offensive tackle, Josiah Mason, who they use like a tight end, shifting him around all over that offensive line. And for Gray Collegiate, their captains are number 7, Michael Boulware, the leading tackler in the state, son of former NFL safety and Florida State Seminole Michael Boulware. Number 8, Trevon Williamson, their star tailback. Number 10, their senior quarterback, who will be maybe involved at some point tonight, Tyler Waller, and one of their linebackers / tailbacks, J.P. Sweat, a junior. Not many seniors on this team, so a lot of juniors are the captains for Gray Collegiate as we await the coin toss. A lot of interesting matchups tonight, Chuck. Obviously, the Bruins, we talked about their identity of running the football. They only passed the ball a handful of times last week, 6 pass attempts and 39 rush attempts. So for Gray Collegiate, it's pretty obvious what the name of the game is for them, and that is to try to stop the South Florence rushing attack and force Messiah Jackson to throw the ball.
And that is exactly what they're going to have to do, James, against this team, because we've seen it over and over. They will control the clock with their run. If they get something started in that first quarter, South Florence that is, especially with their run game, that's what they do. They run the ball, they run the ball, they run the ball, and they run the clock out. Now, I watched, like I said, the footage of them last week with Gray Collegiate. What I saw in that game was they scored all 28 points, not counting in overtime, because they did end up winning the game with a field goal.
31-28 overtime win.
But they had 28 points in the first half. They did not score in the second half at all. So I'm wondering, with those two-way players that we're going to talk about, if somehow or another they got a little bit tired in that second half, because I saw where, of course, it was 28-14 at the half. The other team scored 14 points. It came down to them at the end of the half. So I really feel like they're going to have their best game to be able to compete with South Florence, even though they have a really strong team. But it is, like you said, a younger team.
Absolutely. As the starters retreat to the field houses and the lights dim here in Bruin Stadium, a great crowd here tonight on a cold November evening as they got the heat warmers there on the sideline. But the crowd is ready to watch their Bruins try to win a 4th straight lower state championship, Chuck. This is one of the best runs in the history of this region of high school football, definitely in the history of South Florence football. It is a special time to be a Bruin.
Yeah, it is. It's the greatest run in Florence history, to be honest with you, James, when it comes to football. We've not had any team do this kind of domination for this many years. To get the fans behind them like they have, they've actually created kind of new traditions that weren't there before. Because let's face it, and it is true, unless you're winning a lot of games, the fans sometimes just don't show up. They bought this culture. We've heard how these fans right here at South Florence can affect the game. And let's see if they don't do it tonight again. These cowbells are out, which is something that wasn't done years ago. The hooting and hollering has always been done. You can hear it in the background.
Here they
Now,
come.
here you go. The excitement that they have is different, James. It's
Here
wonderful to see.
Come the defending state champions with their eyes on the prize, the South Florence Bruins in their all-navy home uniforms with the baby blue trimming and numbers. Gray Collegiate comes out with their all-white away uniforms with the silver helmets, the nice gray silver helmets. Two teams with a lot of championship history. Obviously, we've gone over South Florence's pedigree, but for for Gray Collegiate, they have won the Class 2A title in 2021 and also finished as the runner-up in 2023. So this program is no stranger to the championship environment as we are prepared for kickoff. The War Eagles have deferred to the second half. They will be kicking off, and the Bruins with Cameron James and Amari Reeves back deep to start this one.
All right, James, here we go. This is the lower state championship game.
Junior kicker number 33, Weston Mims, gets ready to kick this one off from the 40 to a sold-out Bruin Stadium and a big crowd from Gray Collegiate as well as we are set to kick this one off. Mims approaches the lefty, kicks it away into the night sky to that right sideline and out of bounds at the 15-yard line. The referee will throw that flag, and the Bruins will get good starting field position for their first drive.
And let's see if they accept this or not, James. You've seen it before where they make them re-kick. Just curious as to what Coach Marlowe is going to do.
Bruins look to be set from the 35 here. We'll see if Coach Marlowe decides any differently from that. But it's not a great sign when you give the Bruins such great starting field position. That's been a trend for them most of the season. They've been fantastic in that starting field position with their special teams. And now Messiah Jackson and Cameron James in the backfield to start this one in the gun. Two wide receivers for Messiah Jackson as he gives it up the middle to Cameron James as he bursts through the hole across the 50, and there goes Cameron James with a burst of speed on the first play of the game as he's tackled at the 45 in the secondary, but that's over a 15-yard gain for Cameron James to start the game.
Yeah, Gray Collegiate better be thanking number 4, Caleb Razor, for that. If he doesn't touch lightning just now, and that's Cam James, we got a 7-6-0 ball game real quick. Like, that was the safety.
Cameron James starting hot here early, then out at the 45. They shift, and they'll give it to James up the middle of the field as he finds a hold of that right side, but quickly met there by Michael Boulware, adding to his egregious tackle totals. He's got over 200 on the season. That'll be a gain of 3 that day.
And this was an interesting name because he was in on the tackle. His name is Dawson Peak. Always remind me of, I hate to say Dawson Creek, but.
263 tackles that time, 264 for Michael Boulware. They'll fake it to Cameron James, and now Messiah Jackson's running left side. He's got the corner at the 40, stiff arms a man, but he'll be pushed out of bounds. A nice gain of about 3 or 4 yards there by Messiah Jackson. It'll set up third down and call it 3.
Yeah, that was a nice pursuit by Razor just then from Gray Collegiate to keep it to a minimal because it looked like Messiah Jackson had running room on that left side, and he closed it down very quickly.
It did. Not a favorable spot. Might get a long 4 yards for Messiah Jackson there on this third down now.
Yeah, that closing speed from Razor is pretty phenomenal so far.
Jackson will set back up in the gun. It's an empty set this time for the Offensive Player of the Year, and Jackson will keep it. Quarterback power running right side. A strong run by Messiah Jackson. He's met immediately, but he powers forward for maybe 4 yards. It'll be right there at that line to gain. We'll see what the officials call.
They got him just a little bit short, James. He did run it up the middle, and I imagine they're going to do the same play. Gray Collegiate held on for their life on that one to get him down. He's a big back. I mean, a good, back quarterback.
It is 4th and inches for the Bruins as, again, they will line up empty set. The lone man back there, Messiah Jackson. Everyone on the line for Gray Collegiate. No deep safety. They send Perkins in motion. They fake it to motion. And there goes Messiah Jackson right up the middle. He'll be untouched to the end zone. 35 yards. Touchdown for Messiah Jackson.
Yes, sir. That's what we want to see, James. When we're from Florence, we want to see Florence teams dominate. Right there, Messiah Jackson, deep Offensive Player of the Year, Region 5-4A. Takes it straight up the middle for a touchdown. 30-yard touchdown.
Adding to his touchdown numbers, he's got 18 on the ground this year. Coy Joyner on for the extra point. Ben Tyner on the hold. Snaps down. Kick is on the way. And the Bruins take a 7-0 lead with 10:18 to go here in the first quarter. A great start for the Bruins.
Yes, sir. You couldn't ask for it to be drawn up any better, and that's what South Florence does. They run it. They run it. They run it. Not one pass play just then, James.
They don't
run it. That's one thing I've noticed. They will not pass until they have to, unless they're working on something for the future.
Yep.
He will run it. Marlowe will run this ball as long as he can. He'll have minimal passes, unless, like you said, unless he has to.
But so far, for the most of this season, the Bruins have not had to pass very often. Their closest games were Somerville, where they won by 1 point in overtime, but they still grinded the ball out. Weren't very effective on the ground, but they grinded out those hard yards. And then an absolute shootout against Northwestern, where they just couldn't quite hang on.
No, but
besides that, it has not been necessary.
Yeah, but they do have a wonderful passing game as well, as we've seen.
When it's necessary, Messiah Jackson can sling it as well. Coy Joyner kicks this one away back to Gray Collegiate. It is fielded at about the 3. This is Gant running right side. A nice seam, and there he goes across the 30. That's Hizari Gant with a nice return all the way to the 35, and that'll match the Bruins' last drive steal position as they start with 10:09 to go in the first.
And usually we're used to seeing South Florence dominate when they come across the middle, but he didn't go all the way over to the other sideline, James. He cut that thing up the middle after he ran over about 10 yards towards the middle. Took it up the seam, and he had a good return.
North Augusta has a lot of great returners on this team. They have a few touchdowns on the season and average a lot of yards on both kickoff and punt returns. They'll be important for Coy Joyner to be ready. Now we get to see the young quarterback, Xavier Wright, here in the gun. 5 wide. He sends his running back, Williamson, out into the flat. The lefty looks. He'll step up into the pocket, and he'll slide immediately. Chased down from behind by McKitchen. Only a gain of 2 that time. But right there, immediately, you get to see the elusiveness of the freshman.
Yeah, that was number 29, James. That was in on that quarterback so quick. The quarterback had to make a decision. Jewel Washington.
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
He had him, and that's why Jewel Washington was a little bit upset. But luckily, we're talking about a minimal game of 1 yard.
Yep. The Bruins swarm as they normally do. Tackle by population, you like to say, Chuck.
Yes, sir, and I hope they do it all night. And if people don't understand what that means go as teammates. Tackle the man till he's down.
A lot of blue jerseys is what you want to see. It's 2nd down and 9 here, back in the gun. 2 backs next to Xavier Wright. High snap. He's able to toss it back to himself. Off timing possession there as he tries to throw it to the flat to the back. Williamson not able to hang on. It'll be 3rd down and 9, just a bit too far. And that was a little off timing there due to the snap, Chuck.
Yeah, the one thing I have noticed about Wright is he does not does not get under pressure too much. When it's coming to him, he's a young man that knows how to react. Just then, same thing. That was a good throw. His receiver just dropped it.
Yep.
And he collected himself beautifully.
The freshman, not the biggest man. He's 6 foot, 175, still growing, obviously, as a freshman in high school. 3rd and 9 here. Let's see how he does with this pressure. Man in motion is C.J. Gleaton. He'll step up in the pocket, and now nowhere to go for the War Eagles. Warnell Prue brings right to the ground, right at the line right at the line of scrimmage. It'll be 4th and 10 and a 3 and out for the Bruins.
Yeah, that was a rough start if you're Gray Collegiate. Not at all anything what they wanted. They're getting their quarterback too much pressure the whole time. He didn't have a chance to do anything that time, James. He had to run it quickly up the middle, and Bruins defense is dominant as always, stopped him. Like you said, Prue.
Weston Mims will be standing back at the 20 to take this. June Perkins standing at his own 35. A nice spiraling punt running to that left side of the field as Perkins retreats for it, but not going to get to it. It'll be to the 19-yard line where it'll be down. A solid punt there by Weston Mims, flipping the field there. And now the Bruins will start backed up inside the 20.
Yeah, and if you're Gray Collegiate, that's what you want to see from your punter. That was a really good punt, especially in high school. That was dominant. Really good to see because I harp on special teams being a difficult part or a bad part of what's going on. A lot of times, I think we're going to see better special teams because they've got a kicker. I think you said they can kick a 50-yarder. or is it a 40-yarder?
He's hit a 40-yard. He hit a 40-yard game
40-yarder.
winner last week against Hilton Head. Back out is Messiah Jackson and Cameron James as he's going to give it to Lightning number 22 up the middle of the field. Powerful for how small Cameron James is as he gets 5 yards into the secondary tackle there by Boulware and company. It'll be second down and 4.
When you watch this Bruins offensive line, that's part of the reason Cam James is getting all them yards. They're already pushing Gray Collegiate back at least 3 yards. And then Cameron James is so tiny, as we talked about, that it's hard to see him.
Second down. Bruins still in that 2 tight end set. DJ James and Bruce Thompson will lead the way for Cameron James on this carry as he's going to bounce it to the right side. Stiff arms the man to the 30. Wrestling out of bounds at the 32-yard line. He'll be maybe 2 yards shy of the first down. No, they're going to go ahead and give it to Cameron James. That's enough for a first down for the Bruins there.
Boulware had a chance at him, but that shifty back that he is, James, shifted right out of it. Boulware touched him, and that was it.
Out to the 33 is Cameron James as he's had a nice game so far here in the first quarter. Now Gabe McLaughlin checking in for his first action of the day, the Thunder to the Lightning combo. They send June Perkins in motion to the left side where they're going to pitch it to McLaughlin running to that side. Nowhere to go, though, as he's wrapped up there at the line of scrimmage, as that was Boulware and Ty Rivers to bring him out of bounds for a gain of about 2.
That's kind of a surprise call to me because he's not that fast of a back. That's why we call him Thunder. Don't get me wrong. We talked about it. He can run. But I'm not sure why they pitched it to the short side of the field and didn't give him a lot of room to run with.
They kind of switched roles a little bit here. You see Cam James up the middle as he checks back into the game. Second down and 8 after the 2-yard carry. Jackson hard count. They do get him to jump a little bit, but the Bruin offensive line didn't move, and we'll reset here. Second down and 8. Jackson in the gun. He'll get the snap. Hand off to James up the middle of the field. Not much running room as that War Eagle defensive line and linebackers finally stand up there. It's going to be third down and 8.
Yeah, that whole defense was in on that tackle, it looked like. I think everybody, 8 players were in on that, James. So if you're going to run it up the middle, and they know you're running up the middle, they're going to try to put 8 in the box, it looks like, and go man-to-man on these receivers.
The defensive lineup for the War Eagles definitely don't give much safety help to these corners. The safeties play pretty tight and about within 10 yards of the line of scrimmage. It's 5 wide for Messiah Jackson here on third down. Call it 7. He's going to look to throw. Fires a slant to Ben Tyner. He's got it. First down at midfield. There goes number 9, Ben Tyner, with a nice catch and go as he crosses midfield for a Bruin first down.
That was a good call play by Coach Marlowe. It's exactly what I was talking about. They had him in man-to-man coverage. There's only one safety out there, and they had 3 people covering receivers. A quick slant like that by Tyner, boom, an extra first down.
Tyner, the seniors, really had to step up in the absence of Samaj Parker as they're going to give it to McLaughlin up the middle this time. Finds some tough running room there as he's tripped up. He'll gain about 3 yards on that one first down carry.
Yeah, that's some tough running right up there because they're not playing either. They're trying to stop this Bruin offensive line from pushing them back, and so far they're doing a pretty good job at this second part of the drive.
As we've seen all playoffs, so the Bruins are content to gain 3-4 yards of play and just run this ball. Second down and 7. McLaughlin still in the game as he's going to run it left side, and there's another 2 to 3 yards there for McLaughlin as he crosses the 45 to the 44. It'll be third down and 4.
Yeah, I was going to say he didn't get hardly any yardage on that one. He probably got about 1.5 yards, James. It was straight up the middle, and they stuffed him. Speaking of stuff, Thanksgiving was yesterday.
Hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving yesterday. I'm sure everybody enjoying some leftovers tonight here. And this crucial third down for this War Eagle defense, trying to stop him at midfield. Both the backs in the backfield with Messiah Jackson, Cam James, and Gabe McLaughlin. And we have motion on that Bruin offensive line. A guard was about to pull early there. I think that was on number 79. That was Gary Ginwright that time. And that's going to back him up for a third down and probably 8 or 9 now.
And that's the kind of stuff you were asking what else would affect this kind of game, since Coach Marlowe was talking about just tackling and also just, I can't remember the other one he was saying, but I think that penalties play a big, big part. We just went from having a 3rd and 4 to 3rd and 9.
We didn't quite have time to go for my keys of the game in the pregame, but one of them was for South Florence to cut out the penalties. That's a crucial one there. Now let's see if they can bounce back from it here. 3rd down and 9, Messiah Jackson. They're going to come out 3 wide with Bruce Thompson out there with Cameron James back with him. Jackson will look to throw, fakes the screen. Now he's going to throw another middle screen to Cameron James. He got a nice block. Cameron James up the middle of the field with a burst of speed. And when in doubt, give it to Lightning. That's another 15-yard gain for Cameron James and a Bruin first down.
Once again, a beautiful play call by Coach Marlowe. He had 3 of their defenders running in on him, and Messiah Jackson saw it. Now, there was a defender, I didn't catch who it was, that could have had Cam James, but that back is so fast. He juked him out of his shoes a little bit and then got an extra 10 yards.
I believe that was number 11, Ty Rivers. He tried to get a hand on Cameron James, but you're going to need more than just the sidearm tackle to bring down 22. First fresh set of downs now at the 35 of Gray Collegiate. The Bruin offense continues to move with 3:30 to go here. First quarter play fake. They're going to throw it to Tyner. It's batted up into the air. Incomplete. They try to go back to that slant, and that time the defense was ready. I believe that was Jack Armstrong, who plays a little bit of offense and defensive line, to bat that ball down. Brings up 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, that was just good recognition of something that's already happened in this same drive, that same play, and he recognized it and batted that ball down.
Both Armstrong and Dawson Peak on that right side of the defensive line. Like you said, Chuck, we're aware of the play that has previously been ran now. 2nd down and 10. They'll fake it to Cameron James. They're going to throw a screen to June Perkins going right side. Has a nice block off of Tyner on Robinson as he weaves his way for about 6 yards. It's going to be 3rd down and 4 after that.
And that's kind of senior leadership you want to see from Ben Tyner. He pushed his own player back a good 5 yards to make sure that he got a big gain of 7, 6.
3rd down, 4 yards,
Yes,
just
sir.
inside the 30 for the Bruins here. As Gray Collegiate has slowed them down, but hasn't been able to come up with a complete 4-down stop here as Jackson lines up empty set, and he's going to go quarterback power, running right side this time. Brought down right at the line to gain there. He pushed forward for about 3 yards. It'll be 4th down and 1. I believe that was J.P. Sweat to bring down the quarterback.
Yeah, him and number 11, Ty Rivers, both were in on that tackle, and they stopped him. I didn't know he got 4 yards. I thought he had only gotten like 2.
It brings up 4th and 1 again. They go gun. Empty set for Jackson. This could be another quarterback power. They're going to run left side this time. Jackson spins at the line of scrimmage, keeps those legs moving forward, and he's going to get about 5 yards off of that run for another Bruin first down, and they're in the red zone.
And that's what you want to see. I don't know if you saw that play, but all he did was he ran up to the line right behind the center, and he turned around, and he used his behind and just backed all the way up. And he got 4 yards off to doing the, I don't know what you want to call it. They call it the tush push. That's the opposite,
right.
because he uses his hind end to gain yardage. We're supposed to describe it, and that's exactly what he did.
It was an interesting way. Jackson just decided to conservatively get that first down, but thanks to that offensive line, especially their center, that was Luke Thayer, blocking his tail off. It's going to be 1st down and 10 for the Bruins. Trips to the far side on Messiah Jackson's left. They're going to fake it. He's going to look to throw pressure, firing into the end zone. He's got his man, Jude Perkins. Touchdown, Bruins. What a catch.
Oh, and he was covered pretty well, too, but that was a beautiful throw and catch, James. Couldn't have placed it any better. He located it in the air and hauled it down. Wow, what a nice play. And you talked about Thayer, the center. Everything I'm hearing about that young man is he is the #1 center in South Carolina as a junior.
As a junior, he definitely shows it on that series, but that was all Messiah Jackson and June Perkins as Corey Joyner's out for the extra point. Snaps down, kick is up. It is good, but that just shows the connection that we've talked about all year, Chuck, as the Bruins now take a 14-0 lead with 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter. It wasn't quite there to start the year, Chuck. June Perkins and Messiah Jackson trying to get on that same page as that West Florence transfer settled in. He shows why they needed him in a situation like that. It was a heck of a catch and a heck of a throw.
And we're glad to have him on this side from West Florence. Is very glad because he is the #1 receiver on that team. Also, to add into what we just saw, James, this is exactly what South Florence does. They've already had 2 drives. They've limited their team to hardly any plays, and there's only 2 minutes left to go in this quarter, and they're up 14.
Yes, sir. As Coy
This
Joyner.
this is their schedule. This is their recipe, and they're right on schedule right now to do exactly what they've been doing all year long.
The Bruins chaining it up on the sideline. They're feeling it here early as the kick is away. DeGantsai, he's going to let that go into the end zone for a touchback. And it'll be out for the 20-yard line for the War Eagles here in an early hole. How does the freshman Xavier Wright and crew respond? Obviously, their formula, they're a balanced team, but they also love to run the football. We talked at length about Trevon Williamson. They haven't been able to get him going so far here, Chuck, early.
They haven't had any success doing any kind of running. I believe they're going to have to go to their passing to have any kind of chance right now, and we know that they've got great DBs on South Florence, so they'll be tested tonight. I believe this is the drive they're going to have to do it because they're not going to run on South Florence right now. Number 50, Brendan Williams, he's just tearing that thing up in the middle. We already know he plugs that hole. Ain't nobody going in the middle right now, James, I don't think.
They haven't been able to push him back for most of the season as they send Williamson in motion. Again, 5-wide look. Wright will take the snap here on first down. He's going to step up, pressure all over him, but he's going to just try to take off and run for what he can, following his lineman Trey Johnson for about 2 or 3 yards. But again, the Bruins all in the backfield to get in the face of the freshman.
Yeah, as well as if you saw what happened just then, James, all of his receivers were covered. That's why he had nowhere to go. That Bruins secondary that I talked about is very good, but they've got some weapons on this great collegiate team for sure. They've got some dominant receivers. We're going to see how they perform tonight.
They're going to give it to Williamson running right side, and the big, strong back not able to get a whole lot there as he's stacked up by, I think that was Prue and that was Terry Gordon on that side. Gain of about 1.5 yards. Call it 3rd down and 3.
Now, I'd say this is a really, really important play for Great Collegiate. 3rd down right now, and if you don't get any yardage and you punt, you are setting yourself up for South Florence recipe, and they're going to cook you like soup.
Sweat and Williamson in the backfield with Wright. They send a blitz to the Bruins. All in the backfield, but Wright's able to escape. He's got running room going right side, and a nice scamper by the freshman quarterback to get out of trouble. Gain about 10 yards and a War Eagle first down across the 35.
That's just a heads-up play by that young man, Wright, to be a freshman and know just then he saw all of his receivers and everybody went down. He had an opening to the right where nobody was there for a good 10 yards. So I don't blame the young man, but just good IQ on seeing that.
Hope he's got his running shoes on today. He's going to have to be scrambling. And
yeah, he hasn't had a chance to throw the ball yet, except for that one where everybody was covered.
1st and 10, they're going to give it to Williamson, running to the left this time, stacked up and then pushed back by multiple Bruins as he's going to be thrown backwards. But they're going to stop his forward progress right at the line again. The Bruins maybe a little bit after the whistle there, but no call, 2nd down and 8.
No, I think the momentum was going with it, and they've released him at the last minute. But at the same time, that defense is going in there swarming. The first player that hit him, he got by. As soon as he did, that next 4 people jumped on him. Like you talk about, tackling by population, and that's what they're doing tonight. And that's what they've done all year.
With these 3 linebackers, that's like you said, Chuck, that's what they've been doing all year. You got Prue, you got Kennedy, and you got Terry Gordon, and they're pitching a shutout here early. We're at the end of one here in your lower state championship. The defending champion Bruins 14 and Gray Collegiate nothing. We'll be back with the second quarter of this Florence Game of the Week after this break.
Mark your calendars for Saturday, December 13th. One big day, many great deals. Christmas Saves returns to your radio Saturday, December 13th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Every item at ChristmasSaves.com is 50% off. And when ChristmasSaves.com gets underway, the Crazy Wayne deals come out. Listen for huge price drops during the Crazy Wayne specials and don't miss out. Complete your Christmas shopping in one day without leaving the comfort of home. ChristmasSaves.com. Coming December 13th, beginning at 10 a.m. on this station.
We now return to the high school football game of the week on 96.3 ESPN Radio.
Welcome back to the high school football game of the week here on 96.3 ESPN Radio here in the state semifinals at the end of South Irby Street in Florence. The Bruins doing what the Bruins do here early, up 14-0 on Gray Collegiate. It'll be 2nd down with the War Eagles driving, trying to cross midfield, But early on, Chuck, not much time for the freshman quarterback to get things going.
No, not at all. The South Florence defense is getting in there very quick. Great Collegiate's offensive line is having a struggle.
Wright's going to take the snap. Heave one down that left sideline. Incomplete. Had his man Gant, but just threw it a little too far to that left boundary. That was Johnson in coverage there, but incomplete. 3rd down and 8 after that.
And that pressure is what affected that throw a little bit, James. South Florence got in there again, but that receiver was wide open. Somebody blew coverage on that one big time. He had a good 10 yards ahead of the DB, and the safety wasn't close.
An early miss there by the freshman. Let's see what he's got here. 3rd down and 8. Bunch set to the right side. One lone receiver to the left as he's going to take the snap, dropping into the pocket, stands tall, firing too high, intercepted. And guess who? It's the thief, Amari Reeves. He's got it across the midfield line, out of bounds at the 30, and there's another pick for Amari Reeves.
That young man is just having a phenomenal 2 games, and not just 2, but all year long. But these last 2 games, that is his 4th interception.
In 2 games, yes, sir.
4th interception, 2 of them were pick sixes, and he had a fumble recovery. So he has been a part of now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 already, and we're just in the beginning of the second quarter. That was an overthrown ball, clearly. The young man is trying his best to bring his team back in, but you could not make those kind of mistakes and expect to stay in this game with South Florence.
Give the credit to Brendan Williams and the other interior lineman there. Got right in the face of the freshman and just forced that throw too high. And Amari Reeves was in the right place. It'll be 1st down just outside of the red zone at the 22-yard line. They're going to give it to Cam James running right side. Another decent run there by Lightning as he's going to run to the 22-yard line on that right side. 2nd down and call it 6 yards to come.
And it's got to be really struggling if you're on Great Collegiate side, because this is not a huge running back. And for him to be able to get this much yardage every time, and these are talented guys on Great Collegiate. Like I said, they are recruited, James.
Oh, yes. 2nd down and 6 as the Bruins in no rush here. They want to make sure they get this right. An early chance to go up 3 scores with 11 minutes and counting here in the second quarter. Twin tight end set. They switch Bruce Thompson to the right side, and Cameron James is going to follow him to that right side. Not much there as that's J.P. Sweat and Michael Bulware there to slam him to the ground. Maybe a gain of 1 that time. It'll be 3rd down and 4.
Yeah, he better be careful with throws like that, because they will give you a penalty, especially if you do a suplex. And that wasn't far off from a suplex, James.
Yep.
He swooped him and then dropped him on the ground pretty hard and landed on top of him. But definitely not an indefensible player, but you cannot suplex a guy in this type of game.
Let's call it
any game.
Call it 3rd and 5. They didn't give much forward progress on that run that time as the Bruins inside the red zone threatening here. Ben Tyner, Malik Robinson, and June Perkins, the wide receivers, as Messiah Jackson lines up empty set. As he's going to take the snap, fakes that throw, and he's going to take off up the middle. Messiah Jackson runs into an offensive lineman, bounces off, and he's got green grass into the end zone. Touchdown, Messiah Jackson.
Yeah, they're here to dominate this game, and as you said, the only person that even touched him just then was when he ran into the back of his own player. He bounced off as soon as he hit him. Nobody got close to touching him at all. Bruin dominant so far. This is what we were hoping to see, James. They are doing it so far. I am a little bit surprised. To an extent, I thought this would be a little bit more of a competitive game at this point.
Snaps down, kick is up. Coy Joyner adds on the extra point. The score, South Florence 21. And goodness gracious, the Great Collegiate Academy, you wouldn't have thought they would have come in here with a shutout at this point, Chuck. But no points for Great Collegiate up to this point. They've averaged over 40 points on the season. And it's just surprising for anybody at this point to see what's going on. We all know how great South Florence is, but like you said, I don't think anybody thought that we'd be seeing a repeat of what they've done the past 2 rounds.
And no, I don't, James. And the only thought that comes to my head right now is that we got a chance to see another game. And if we do, I'm going to say the same thing, that this is the best team that we've seen South Florence play. Because every time I've said that, these games have not been very competitive. And so far, this is not a competitive game. South Florence just looks like the more dominant team, and it's very surprising because they've got college-level athletes on Great Collegiate. And that quarterback is phenomenal. He's just young.
Gleaton and Gant back deep as Joyner kicks this one away, and this is going to go into the end zone again for another touchback. Just like Coy Joyner planned there, as they're going to take it out to the 20. And, Chuck, we say this probably every week we cover the Bruins. It's already do or die time for Gray Collegiate at this point. And like we said, we weren't expecting to say that this early on in the game, but a freshman quarterback down 21, it's time to go.
And just the ball control that South Florence has. They're going to run the ball, and that's going to run the clock out. They're going to limit possessions like they always do, and they're already doing it. So, yeah, this is a very, very, very important particular drive for them if they want to stay in this game. South Florence gets it again and scores. Wow.
The freshman takes the snap on first down. He's going to look to throw, scrambles to his left, fires to that side, incomplete, too high, intended for Gant, covered by Will Wilson. No, excuse me, that's Amari Reeves on that side, incomplete. Second down and 10. And again, not finding the success in the air as the freshman forced to leave the pocket again.
With the coverage that South Florence's DBs and safeties are doing against their wide receivers and then the pressure that South Florence is getting on them, right now they're not even getting a chance to throw. And if they do, they're covered. He had to throw that ball away. He had no chance.
The War Eagles line up in a 4-wide set. Whistles blow from the officiating crew. We'll see what the call is here by them. 9:42 to go here, second quarter. Bruins up 21-0. Neither coach is used to timeout at this point here.
Yeah, I don't see a penalty flag or anything. Are they calling a penalty?
We'll see.
I think this is something a referee stoppage because I don't see a flag or anything, James.
Yes, the back judge official here was checking with Coach Marlowe, and the other officiating crew is, I'm not sure what. Yeah, they're trying to reset the clock here. 25 on the play clock, ready to go here. All good. Second down and 10. They send C.J. Gleaton in motion to that left side. They're going to throw it outside. That's Royce Williamson on a nice catch and run on a screen. He'll get a first down, a gain of 11 yards. That's the first time we've seen Royce Williamson. He'll play defensive back. He was covering June Perkins, but you see why he plays both ways right there.
Yeah, that was a good throw, but James, I think you had your head turned for just a brief second. That was another high snap. That young man hooked it with his right hand, collected it. I just hadn't seen the poise from somebody this young doing so much.
Yes, absolutely. His teammates, his coaching
his
staff, they rave about this young man, and they'll give it to Williamson running left side. There he goes, the big man running across the 50 to the 30, pushed out of bounds as he approaches the 20-yard line. The biggest play of the game, and it comes from Trayvon Williamson.
Yeah, and if you're South Florence, that's not what you want to see, of course. That was a big, big drive by that young man, and there's a reason why he can run like that. He's a phenomenal athlete. That's why he's going to be a Division I player.
North Augusta has the guys to get back into this game quickly. You see why right there as they cross midfield and are into the red zone here as they marked him out of bounds all the way down at the 19-yard line.
Yeah, they got some players, and South Florence is going to have to stop them.
First and 10 for the War Eagles. They fake to Williamson. Throwing to that left side. He's got his man. Touchdown, War Eagles. It's J.P. Sweat that time. And the Gray Collegiate War Eagles are not out of it yet.
And that's what you have to do if you're Gray Collegiate, just what they just did. March down the field. And I won't say march. That big play got most of it. But you've got to score at that situation, and they did. Like you said, they're not back in the game yet, but they've saved themselves in this game.
A 19-yard touchdown pass there by Xavier Wright. But like you said, Chuck, it was that big run by Trayvon Williamson as Mims snaps down. Kick is up. It is good. The score now, Bruins 21, War Eagles 7 with 9:07 to go here in the second quarter of your semifinals in the lower state championship.
Yeah, that's a big response by Gray Collegiate, the War Eagles. They definitely had to respond, like I said earlier, and what a way to do it, man. South Florence is a little bit shocked. They're not used to getting it just shoved in their face like that so quickly. 2 big plays, and the next play a touchdown.
We'll have to see how the Bruins respond. That was a play fake there that they faked it to Williamson. And obviously after that big run, those linebackers and safeties are thinking another run. And they threw it right over the top. It shows the balance that the War Eagles are capable of. And that keeps them to where they can stay balanced possibly in this game, only down 2 scores. But we'll see how the Bruin offense and Messiah Jackson responds here.
Yeah, I was surprised not surprised necessarily because I know they're going to run it, but the one thing I was saying is they're going to have to pass because that's what their offense is really based upon is passing, and they need to do that to open up the run here.
As Weston Mims kicks it away to the right side of the field, going right down that right sideline. A good return down to the 50. He's got it down the sideline. There he goes. Into the end zone goes the Bruins special teams unit for a touchdown. Trying to get that man's number.
That's number 2.
Oh, my goodness gracious,
Amari
Chuck.
Reeves, son.
Call
if
this
you didn't
man
see that man
prime
is
time.
on 2.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't mean it. We're both talking. We're both excited. Y'all know y'all can both hear us, but that's fine. That is number 2. What kind of 2-game series can you have? Son, please bring that to the state championship if we go there. We need that kind of action. James, how did he stay in bounds?
An unbelievable tiptoe as Amari Reeves took it down that right sideline. Had about 2 guys that had an angle on him. And like you said, Chuck, I don't know how he didn't get pushed out, didn't get shoved, 1 toe out of bounds, but he was just blazing down that sideline. And Amari Reeves, with a flash, puts the Bruins back up 28-7 with 8:55 here to go in the second quarter.
Yeah, he's giving Lightning a little challenge for that name just then. Man, I thought dynamite had Cam James, and I know it wasn't. I'm being funny because it was a defensive.
I genuinely thought it was Cam James.
I saw who it was the whole time. But, wow, he ran so fast down that line. I wish they could have a clock to see how fast he was running.
The Anderson commit showing off here in the playoffs. If you're a Division I university, shout out to the Anderson Spartans for scouting out this young man and getting him a commitment. But goodness gracious, somebody please give this man some offers because we are seeing something that I have never seen before as Amari Reeves, his fourth touchdown in 2 games from the defense and special teams as Corey Joyner kicks this away.
And those are those supplemental touchdowns that I talk about. Touchdowns that are not done by the offense.
This is Gant returning from that left side, trying to cut back, and he won't. Stop there shy of the 20-yard line. Great play there by the Bruins special teams. That's number 27, Aiden Robinson, with a great tackle.
All 3 phases, and that's what you have to do is dominate all 3 phases. Special teams, offense, defense. Right now, South Florence is doing a pretty good job. And what a feeling if you're Gray Collegiate to have drove all the way down the field, got yourself back in the game, and then put yourself right back out of the game to an extent. Because if the Bruins stop them right here, they're going back down and scoring again. I hadn't seen enough from them to think that Gray Collegiate can stop them.
They mark it at the 19 is where the War Eagles will go. Shotgun snap to right. He's going to throw it right side to Williamson, and the Bruins are all over him in the flat. Multiple Bruins stop him there as the final tackle was number 21, Jaquez Johnson, to bring him down for a loss of 1.
When you have somebody do a play like that and you got a player playing like Amari Reeves is, do you not think that the other players on that team get energy from it? And right there you see an example of it. That could have been a big play, but they didn't even give it a chance.
And
they're just
quarterback
hyped
gets
up.
scared to throw to him, too.
Yeah, they're hyped up, dude.
2nd down and 11 for the War Eagles here, backed up at the 18-yard line. He's going to play fake, does right, looking to throw, steps up in the pocket, but the time runs out. He's sacked. Maybe a gain of 2, they'll call it there, but nothing doing as Marquez McKitchen and Brendan Williams bring him down. It'll be 3rd down and 9.
Yeah, McKithen got a little bit shooken up on that tackle, but he looks to be all right. He's back up, and he's back in it. What pursuit by him. And did you see Brendan Williams came from behind to make that tackle as well? Just whatever, because usually he stays straight up the middle.
Right. Great containment.
Y'all are seeing what I was
freshman.
talking about, the energy. He didn't give up on that play at all.
Yep. 3rd down and 9 here. 5 wide for the War Eagles here as Wright will take that shotgun snap. He's got a clean pocket this time. Fires high, incomplete. Intended for Williamson, and Gresham Hall almost got him one that time. But it'll be 4th down, and out comes the War Eagle punting unit.
And that's the one thing I did notice in tape is that Wright is younger, and he does throw a lot of balls that could be picked. There's a different name for them, James, because actually Messiah Jackson will do it too sometimes. Put that ball in harm's way. I saw him do it a lot in the second half against Hilton Head.
Only 3 interceptions, but
But he puts that ball in harm's way.
He had his fourth here tonight as Mims boots this one away. A nice high end over end kick. It'll bounce at the 42 before June Perkins, excuse me, at the 38 before June Perkins can go up to grab it. It'll bounce to the 40 and be downed there. So the Bruins, again, good starting field position here as they force a big 3 and out. And again, that snowball begins to turn into a Bruin avalanche here early in the second.
Yeah, and right now, we just said it a second ago, they didn't stop them and get a touchdown. They didn't get a touchdown just then, James. So right now, this is the next spot after that big drive by them to this is kind of it. If they don't stop them right here, you're talking about the South Florence team. You think you're going to score 4 touchdowns against them the way they also can run the ball on offense? You're not going to get back in this game.
1st and 10, Messiah Jackson, quarterback keeper, going left side. He's got nice running room. Down that left sideline to the 49-yard line is where he stepped out of bounds. And again, Messiah Jackson looking like that running focal point here tonight as he picks up a nice gain of 9.
And this might be part of Barlow's plan the whole time. Use him as well more in the playoffs because you got this experienced player that hasn't run a lot. He didn't have to. But when he does, he's very effective, and he has a lot of rushing touchdowns. I get that. Most of those are when he's inside the 5-yard line and they haven't converted on 2nd or 3rd down and they need a touchdown. They put him in there to get that touchdown.
But we've seen this a lot, though. It's a empty backfield again for Messiah Jackson. They've ran it almost every time out of this, but this time Jackson will throw. He's going to roll to his right, and he's got pressure in his face, and he's going to be able to throw it away as he fights off 2 defenders. What unbelievable strength by Messiah Jackson to get rid of that football and avoid a sack over 10 yards behind the line.
That was a beautiful play if he was outside the box, and that's what they're discussing right now. Was he outside the box or not?
It looked like he was able to get that
he
ball
got it
past the line.
Oh, he got it past the line of scrimmage.
No, they're going to go ahead and call this a sack, Chuck.
Or it's not a safety?
They call it a sack. They called his knee down there. So it'll be 3rd down and 15. I thought Jackson was able to get away, but I'm sure that referee on that far sideline had a better look at it than I did.
I thought it was going to be a safety because I didn't see him get out the box.
You mean an intentional grounding?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I keep saying safety.
3rd down and 15 here, and Drew Marlowe thinks this is a perfect time to call his first time out of this first half with 6:29 to go here in the second quarter.
Yeah, and I was trying to say, like you said, intentional grounding. That's what I thought it was going to be, but I guess his knee was down before. I think it still might have been, James, because he wasn't outside that stripes over there, the box.
No.
He did get it back to the line of scrimmage, though. What a real remarkable play by him anyway to try to get rid of it.
Absolutely. He had 2 defenders. I think that was 9, Caleb Holmes, and then I think 11, Ty Rivers. Both shot those gaps. Had no chance, did Messiah Jackson, to throw that football initially. Like I said, we hadn't seen him throw out of that set, and we may not see him again for a little while after that result there.
Yeah, now it's not normal that he doesn't have somebody back there blocking, even if it's just Bruce Thompson back there for a little bit. And, you know, he doesn't run the ball a whole lot. But they do use him as a fullback, and so it is back there as a weapon. And if you've done study on them, you're going to know that they'll use that sometimes. But, yes, like you said, just not an empty backfield like that very often. And I don't think you'll see it here because this is clearly a pass play, I would think. We'll see. Watch them.
3rd and 15 after the best play for the War Eagle defense all night here. Messiah Jackson in the gun. Cameron James to his right as he's got 3 receivers as well as Bruce Thompson in at tight end.
I'd like to see him go one-on-one over here and give a 50-50 ball to Malik Robinson. He's got man coverage.
Robinson on the outside. They're just going to give it up the middle to Cameron James, knifing up the middle. He's got running room as he crosses the midfield line. Cuts back, does Cameron James as he's at the 30. Puts out of bounds at the 25. Who needs to throw it when you can just give it to Cameron James? First down, Bruins.
And that's what I just said. Watch him go ahead and run it, even though it's a throwing situation. That's 3rd and 15. You've got elite receivers, and he trusted his team to get 15 yards. That's just rare that you're going to see that happen and for him to actually get it.
And that right side run, then he saw that green grass to the left side and hit that joystick going left and found that running room. 1st and 10 now as they're going to give him a breather. Gabe McLaughlin checks in now, and the Bruins will slow it down here. 10 seconds on the play clock. Still looking here as I believe they're going to go ahead and, yes, Drew Marlowe, he's going to burn his second timeout here with 6:20 to go as they've had to use 2 timeouts on this drive. But obviously it paid off there on that 3rd and long.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I had and like I said, I was surprised that it wasn't a throw play or a passing play at that point because of where they were. So he trusts him, and I get it why, because James is so fast. But I've seen Gray Collegiate have some success in tackling in the running some here and there. That's why I was surprised about it, because you tackle them right there, that momentum kind of goes away and gives them a chance to do what they do and get back in it.
It's shocking to me because we talked all about these great collegiate linebackers, how great they are in pursuit, so many tackles that they have. Obviously, he's able to get to the line right there, but then you expect those linebackers for the War Eagles to really step up and go ahead and shut a play like that down. I mean, they've had Boulware 263 tackles, Sweat 158 tackles. I mean, these guys are studs. Ty Rivers 120 tackles. But you see the speed, like you said, of Cameron James. It is elite.
And it is, but this offensive line is helping a lot, James.
First and 10.
They're elite.
Oh, 100%, absolutely. They're going to give it to McLaughlin right up the middle of the field, and he's got running room as he cuts to the left side. Stiff arms a man inside the 5. Gabe McLaughlin pounds it into the red zone for the Bruins.
And it's surprising they keep using him on the outside. The first time he got stuffed, that time he gained about 22 yards on that carry. I would have liked to have seen it cut back in the middle. I think he would have had a touchdown.
Nonetheless, though, it'll be first down and goal inside the 5. They can mark him at the 4. Gabe McLaughlin's best run of the day. First down, Jackson, 2 receivers to his left, and they're going to run that side. Messiah Jackson follows his blockers into the end zone. Too easy for the Bruins. Messiah Jackson, he's got his 3rd rushing touchdown of the day.
And honestly, James, if you watch that play, he actually jogged it in. He didn't even they were so blocked that he was able to jog it in from 2 yards out with no problem.
Trying to
3
pick
yards.
the hole with the least resistance right there, pretty much. Just he could have picked any way he wanted to go there on that block.
He wasn't in no hurry to score that touchdown.
6:05 to go here. Coy Joyner on for the extra point. Snaps down. Kick is up. It is good. And the Bruins 35 and Gray Collegiate 7. And just a unbelievable showing here. Like we said, all 3 phases of the Bruins showing up here. And again, just playoff domination by Drew Marlowe in South Florence.
I mean, they haven't had any problems, like we said, since Northwestern. I figured they were going to have some kind of problems, but the winner of South Point and West Side tonight is going to have to face this team. South Point is extremely, extremely good. That is a team that was number 1 in the state, and I think South Florence is actually number 2 in the state.
Yes,
rank-wise.
Right, yes,
so that is the one team, and they actually beat Northwestern, who beat South Florence. Yep. But the way we're seeing this right now, I don't know if anybody wants to play South Florence.
No, not at all. Take out the regions, take out the divisions. I think we're watching the best football team at the high school level in the state of South Carolina, my friend.
Right now, the way they're playing, the way they've gelled through these playoffs, yes, sir, I can't argue.
Joyner kicks it away. A low kick this time as it bounces at the 25, high up into the air, and this time Gant will retrieve it at the 10. Fakes a cut to the middle, and now he'll go outside to the left, to the 30, 35. Pushed out of bounds just shy of the 40, but a good return there by Hazari Gant.
Yeah, they have had some success against South Florence's special teams so far. They've had 2 pretty good punt returns. However, if that's all you do is get a punt return to the 35 and you can't move it much after that, you're not going to do anything. I'm telling you now, James, if they try to keep running it up the middle, or if he just keeps taking those passes without, this game is going to get ugly. It's already ugly. It's going to get really ugly.
First and 10, Wright gives it to Williamson running left side, and Willie Kennedy's there immediately to stand him up and waits for his teammates to bring him to the ground. Only a gain of 1 there. Second down and 9, and now an injured War Eagle. That's number 76, one of their offensive linemen, Wilson Sweat, the junior, as he's able to hobble off the field there.
Yeah, I'm hoping that young man, we never root for anybody to get hurt, so hopefully he'll be okay and be able to come back in this game tonight.
On comes Hunter Gentry, number 62, to replace him.
And that's got to be a scary thought if you're him coming into this game with South Florence, the way they've been dominating. He's probably got his nervous butterflies, everything.
Sure.
Could you imagine?
Well, the Bruins have been no stranger to bringing pressure so far here tonight, and they've been able to get pressure just rushing 4 as well. But second down and 7.
Yeah, he's not a big lineman either. That's why I was saying that. He's getting
fakes
shoved.
Throws it to Williamson on a nice little screen pass. He makes one man miss, but then Terry Gordon and Willie Kennedy slam him to the ground. Gain of maybe 1. It'll be third down and call it 7.
That Bruins defense is everywhere tonight, James. They're flying to the ball. They're not trying to let them get any yards if they can. They want to shut this game down and be done and get home early.
At this rate, we're looking like it here. Already up 28. Third down and 7 here for the freshman right. Trips to his right. Lone receiver Gant to his left as he's going to drop to throw. He's got a clean pocket, gets a little happy feet as he throws. That could have been a backwards pass, and that's guess who? Amari Reeves who picks it up. He spins off a man, and there he goes. But they're going to mark it dead, an incomplete pass, Chuck. That's going to be an interesting ruling in the highlight reel as they had the quarterback spinning around there. He just threw the ball away, and Amari Reeves was there, but they're going to call it incomplete in a fourth down.
Yeah, that was the one time they really got to him, and he wasn't able to be composed, like you said. He kind of spun around, but with that said, I think that may have been a forward pass.
Man.
But if it was, we're going to see it on the highlight reels, I hope.
Amari Reeves was thinking another touchdown. Snaps back to Mims as he punts this one away here. June Perkins back to return it as he'll let this one go as it bounced across the 30 to the 27-yard line. And back out comes the Bruin offense to continue their dominance so far. 4:41 to go.
Yeah,
and they're looking to run the rest of this clock out and get another touchdown, Chuck.
Yeah, and if they get that opportunity, James, it's not going to be good at all, like I said. They're changing the score. I thought the score was – okay, I see it. Never mind. I thought they were changing the score. I was like, how are they changing the score, James? Anyway, we got the ball back,
yes, sir. And the Bruins staying in this 5-wide look. Now they'll shift 2 tight ends and Cameron James into the backfield as all the War Eagles are up to the line of scrimmage to block this run. As there goes Cameron James up the middle of the field, finds those small creases in that offensive line and bursts through for a gain of 9 into the secondary. Tackled in by Royce Williamson, 2nd and 1.
Yeah, you don't want your DB making that tackle 9 yards deep. That's the last person. This defensive line needs to step up for Great Collegiate. Otherwise, it's already bad. I know I keep saying it, but I just always like to see players do well.
They walk him up to the line, and they're going to go for a run blitz here onto Cameron James on the carry to the right side, and he's not going to get much there. But I think just instinctually falling forward, I think Cameron James did get that first down. The War Eagles sold out to stop it, and they still couldn't, and that's a Bruin first down.
Yeah, I mean, you got to find him first. They didn't get a big push that time by the offensive line, but the skills that James possesses, like you said, he was able to fall forward just to get enough, James.
They have it out to the 38-yard line. 3:39 to go here and counting in the first half. And the War Eagles will get the ball to start the second half of play. Jackson now back in the gun, and I think Drew Marlowe didn't like what he saw as the play clock was expiring there, and he'll call his final timeout of this half. Great Collegiate still with all 3 of their first half timeouts.
I mean, at this point, I don't know if I would want to use them. If I was them, I'd want to get into half as soon as possible and stop this drive. Drew Marlowe, of course, knows a lot about whatever's going on, and I think that play clock was running out. He didn't want to take a penalty, and that's what we talked about. That's what will kill you. That was not a penalty, but it makes you waste a timeout.
Right.
So it is something that he's going to be talking about, especially if they make it to next week's, which right now it looks like they're going to be making it to next week.
Just a dominant performance. Our producer, MJ, will get you caught up on all of the scores going across all of these semifinals in the state of South Carolina. We got some good college football games as well and a little NFL action earlier today. A weekend full of football here. And a bunch of great games tomorrow as well. Everybody safe travels to Columbia. Here we go. First down and 10 from the 38-yard line as Gabe McLaughlin almost dropped that football on that handoff. He's able to pick it back up and just get back to the line of scrimmage there. Good push by the War Eagles to stop him for a gain of 0.
Yeah, that was, like you said, a good stop by their defense. There was a little bit of a mishandle by McLaughlin, but I don't think it would have really mattered. They were in there.
Wasting some time here are the Bruins as they will hard count and now look to the sideline. Still plenty of time here, 3 minutes to go in the second half, but they are still in their own territory, still trying to get this drive off the ground. Second down and 10, 2 tight end set as they send McLaughlin out, and they're going to run Messiah Jackson to the left side. A similar play, he had a nice run, but this time not to be, as the War Eagles were a little more savvy to it. Michael Boulware and company on the tackle. It'll be 3rd down and 7 for South Florence.
And this is an important time to stop them to get some momentum going into the second half if you are Great Collegiate. But we've already seen what South Florence could do on a 3rd and 15. This is just a 3rd and 7.
I'm sure Coach Marlowe here not afraid to use both the downs to get this first down here. 3rd down, as this will be Messiah Jackson keeping on the read option, just plows right into the middle of that defensive and offensive line. Maybe a gain of 2 yards, and a decision time now for Coach Marlowe to be 4th and 5.
That's a little bit more like what I thought Great Collegiate's defense would look like on these last 2 plays, where they're actually going in there and tackling all together, swarming in and making sure that the player goes down, because Messiah Jackson ain't a small back. He's a huge, quarterback. He's big. He's 6'2", I think 210 or 215.
Yes, that's that's a preseason weight. He's there in the season. He's still kept that and gained a lot of muscle, I'm sure. It is ball spotted at the 44-yard line, 4th down and 5.
This play.
Excuse me, Chuck.
I was going to say this. Oh, go ahead.
Great Collegiate just called their first time out here. So trying to get the football back, 1:57 to go. Go ahead, Chuck.
Well, this play right here is going to be decided right now if Drew Barlow is trying to go ahead and tell you we're here to dominate this game and just end it quickly, because he has a choice right now. It's 4th and 5 inside his area. If he's going for it, he's setting an example right now for his whole team and it looks like Messiah Jackson's in punt formation, so it doesn't look like he's going for it.
They quickly move out the special teams on this 4th down. Back deep for the War Eagles is Royce Williamson. Snaps back to Messiah Jackson. A super high kick. Not a ton of distance on it, but a booming kick from Messiah Jackson as it hits at the 25. Takes a War Eagle roll to the 28 or 9-yard line, and that's where it'll be marked dead. With 1:45 to go here, this will be the final opportunity for Great Collegiate in the half.
Yeah, if you're Great Collegiate, that was a big stop on defense to keep them from scoring. Of course, you do get the ball first in the second half. So if you can put together possession right here and get 7 points, then get your first touchdown in the 3rd quarter, you're looking at then a 35-21 game if everything goes right with extra points.
Absolutely. There is still 100% a path to victory with this talented freshman quarterback, as he's going to lead him here. 1st and 10, takes a snap, and the quarterback in the gun throws over the middle of the field, incomplete, as C.J. Gleaton couldn't get his hands on it. A good throw there by Wright to throw it in between coverage, but not to connect.
Yeah, that was a pretty pass, James, over the first linebacker and in front of the DB. They were in a zone coverage, it looked like, and he probably should have caught that ball. It hit his hands, and it was I thought it was a pretty good throw.
A little bit behind, maybe not an easy catch and run catch, but still to fit it in the coverage, it was a good throw. 2nd down and 10 now. 4 wide receivers, 4 Great Collegiate in the gun. Shotgun snap, he'll take it, looks to throw, fires left side. He's got his man. That is Royce Williamson. About a 7 or 8 yard catch, and he'll step out of bounds. Call it 3rd down and 2 now at the 36-yard line.
That's a smart play by him to save them 2 timeouts right now and to pick up yardage. They're on 3rd down right now. Big play, like I said. Every play right now is the biggest play of the game for Great Collegiate.
1:33 here in the first half. High snap, right, able to get it down and give it to Trevion Williamson, running hard up the middle as he gains a 1st down to the 40. That'll stop the clock momentarily as they reset the football. But again, the high snap there that the freshman was able to handle.
Yeah, like I said, I've seen him do it about 4 times this game, and that center needs to get the ball down to him a little bit better.
1st and 10, shotgun snap. This time it's perfect. He'll fire left sideline. Got a man out there. It's Kent. Who can't hang on? Dropped it in the breadbasket. A good time throw, but great coverage in the secondary. I believe that was Will Wilson on the coverage. Brings up 2nd down and 10.
And Will Wilson's lucky he didn't touch the receiver because he never turned around. He was just trying to catch up a little bit. I don't know how Gant didn't catch that ball, to be honest.
Yeah, arrived right as the football was getting to Gant, though. A bang play. But yeah, Gant not able to haul that one in. That would have been a big one. They would have had him inside the 20. But now 2nd down and 10 at the 40 of the War Eagles here, trying to mount a drive. 1:15 to go. Shotgun snap. He'll look to throw his right. He'll fire again over the middle. High, incomplete. They've tried to throw that over the middle. This time it was intended for Royce Williamson. But again, danger, but incomplete. 3rd and 10.
Yeah, he better be careful with throws like that, James. I know I'm encouraging him to throw some, but that's the only way to get back in the game. But that's also a way to get out of the game with these ball hawk DBs that they've got. And please don't get in there, Amari Reeves. You never know what's going to happen in this game.
Yep, 100%.
He's just on fire right now.
I wouldn't want to throw it towards number 2. He's lined up as a deep safety on the left side. The Bruins will bring a big blitz, bring about 7 players. He'll throw to that left side, incomplete. Intended, I believe that was number 8 on that far sideline. That was Williamson, the intended receiver. Excuse me, that wasn't Williamson. That was Gleaton, the intended receiver. Brings up 4th down and 10.
And that was Amari Reeves in coverage just then. He had his players shut down. There was nowhere for the ball to go. He, just like I said, I hate to keep, but he's having a phenomenal game. Like you said, he needs some D1 looks, mid-major, something.
Out comes Mims to punt from, standing back at the 25-yard line. June Perkins standing at the Bruin 25. Inside a minute here, 58 seconds to go. Clock stopped here in the first half as we have a stoppage here as the officials trying to get the clock situation here. Yes, back to 1 minute and 3 seconds on the game clock. As the Bruins, we thought maybe they wouldn't have another opportunity here, but with a minute to go and no more timeouts, we'll see how aggressive Coach Marlowe is here and how good of a return June Perkins can get. Snap back to Mims at the 25. They has time, and he boots it away. A good punt, and Perkins will just let it go as he fooled Gray Collegiate into not running with him, but a great punt there by Mims. Downs it at the 16-yard line. And with 50 seconds to go here, I'm sure Drew Marlowe will probably be content to take this to half.
You would think that, but I also thought he would throw the ball on 3rd and 15. I wouldn't be surprised to see right now him throw the ball deep to somebody.
And with how well the Bruins have ran it as well, who knows? They'd be fine to take their chances, giving it to 22 a few times and seeing if he can take one for a big gain. As both him and Messiah Jackson have been the stars of the Bruin show here tonight. Starting here now in their worst field position of the game at about the 16-yard line, as they will give it to James, running right up the middle there. Tough, hard-earned yards there by Cameron James as he gets it to the 20-yard line. Only a gain of about 3 yards. Game clock at 36 seconds, play clock at 34 seconds here, so the Bruins will have to snap this one more time.
It doesn't look like Gray Collegiate's interested in having a timeout to extend this at all. The first half.
I'm sure Coach D'Angelo Bryant will want to regroup with his young group. As we said, they will get the ball to start the second half. And it looks like Messiah Jackson standing in the pistol. They normally like to take a knee from this position here. And that is exactly what Messiah Jackson will do as we head to halftime here. And it's all blue and gold here in South Irby Street as the Bruins well on their way to another state championship as your score at halftime. South Florence 35 and Gray Collegiate 7. We'll be back after the break, and MJ's got all your news and scores. We'll be back after this break from your Florence Game of the Week.
Hey there, landowners. Owning land is a lot of work, and we all dread the upkeep and maintenance, especially when help is hard to find.
Hi, I'm Mike, and I can help with it all. If you're tired of the runaround, call D&M Farm Service, where honesty and experience meets your land needs. I'm the handshake behind the D&M, and I'm asking you for the opportunity to earn your business.
Forestry, mulching and clearing, driveways, pond banks, bush hogging, ditching, fencing, tree removal, trimming, and stump grinding. You name it, call Mike. He's got your land covered. No job too small.
Owning land's tough, but we make it easier. Honest, reliable, and dependable service from one landowner to another. D&M Farm Services has you covered. Let D&M Farm Services be the helping hand with your land.
Call or text for free estimates and let them make your land maintenance a little easier. D&M Farm Service. Phone 843-496-0703. That's 843-496-0703. Community Broadcasters is proud to be your local radio source. However, we're more than just a voice of the airwaves. We're a one-stop shop for total advertising solutions.
Yes, we broadcast your message to loyal listeners, but we also take your brand beyond the dial. Want to reach people where they scroll, stream, and surf? We've got you covered.
Digital ads? Absolutely. Social marketing? You bet. Streaming platforms, targeted campaigns, real-time metrics. That too. Whether you're reaching across town or across the world, we can help place your message directly in front of your ideal audience.
With passion, impact, and results. So why settle for less when you can amplify your message everywhere? Let community broadcasters help you broadcast bigger and advertise smarter.
It's your voice, your reach, one platform with endless possibilities. Email us at communityconnect@combroadcasters.com. That's communityconnect@combroadcasters.com. Or call us at 843-678-9393. We're Community Broadcasters. It's more than just a catchy name.
As the temperatures drop, you can help keep a child warm this winter. Bring your gently used coats and jackets to the cleaners in Florence or Sumter for the Coats for Kids drive. Each coat will be cleaned and given to a child in need by local churches, because every child deserves a warm winter. Please bring your items to the cleaners on Palmetto Street in Florence, next to the Sunday House, and in Sumter on North Main Street, across from the post office. The cleaners proudly supporting Coats for Kids for children in need.
Calling all holiday shoppers, Santa just made an early stop at Rivals of Store Divided, and his sleigh is loaded with everything you need for the season. Got someone on your list who's all about garnet and orange? Then time to cruise to Rivals. They've got everything for your shopping list, from stylish wallets and leather goods to Yeti tumblers and car accessories. They also stock toys, games, phone cases, and jewelry. Plus carry brands like Johnny O, Southern Tide, Vineyard Vines, Under Armour, and Nike, all at Rivals of Store Divided.
Get ready to double up the competition this November 28th and 29th. It's the Rumble at Maury's Paradise Raceway. 2 explosive days of nonstop racing action. Friday kicks off with practice at 11 and the Rumble Clone Heavy 390 battling for $3,000 to win, plus all Pro Clone classes and the Pro Junior Shootout. Then Saturday, the main event, the Wayne Poole Memorial 390, paying a jaw-dropping $20,092 to win. And don't miss the live skydiving show, fireworks, food, vendors, and family fun all weekend long. This Thanksgiving, bring the heat, bring the family, and bring the Rumble.
And it's Matt Jordan back here in the ESPN Radio 96.3 FM studios, where South Florence has a 35-7 lead over Gray Collegiate. Let's take a look at some of the other scores from around the state. Louisville and Lamar, these two ended the regular season, and it's going about the same way that game did at the half, 27-7, Lamar on top. Strom Thurmond right now leading Fairfield Central 9-7. It's Hampton County all over Pageland Central, 29-8. Dorman 10, Dutch Fork 7. Northwestern on top of Indian Land, 21-0. It's Oceanside 27, Loris 7. South Point has a 21-0 lead as that game just going to the half. And that one, Somerville on top of James Island by the score of 31-0. Bamberg Earhart on top right now of Cross, 14-6. It's Irmo 20, Berkeley 6, and Belton Honeypath leads Powdersville 14-7. On the college side today, Georgia defeats Georgia Tech 16-9. It was Mississippi over Mississippi State 38-19. Utah beats Kansas 31-21. Indiana up 7-3 at the half. Right now it's 35-7. South Florence on top.
This Christmas, you can make a difference right here in the PD. The Toys for Tots Drive is coming to Florence, December 3rd through December 5th. Proudly sponsored by Poolworks on Palmetto Street and Community Broadcasters. With 50 donation locations across Florence, Darlington, Hartsville, and Lake City, it's never been easier to bring joy to a child in need. Join our stations broadcasting live at Poolworks on December 3rd, then at Walmart on Beltline December 4th, and don't miss the broadcast live at Ollie's on December 5th. Come shop, buy a toy, and drop it off at the live broadcast locations. Or visit sctoysfortots.com to find location boxes at businesses all around the PD. Or click the big Donate Now button to help us reach our goal of $10,000. Every dollar stays right here to give local children a brighter Christmas. Don't wait, donate today. Go to sctoysfortots.com, and together we can make this Christmas magical for every child in the PD.
Let's be real. Car shopping can be a headache. You know, you pull into a dealership, the salespeople are all outside following your car around until one of them springs into action, jumps on the hood of your car while holding onto your wiper blades, and is talking to you through the windshield, just trying to pressure you into buying their vehicle. Not at Big A Auto Sales. We keep it simple. No pushy salespeople, just honest deals that fit your needs. Bad credit? No sweat. Good credit? Hey, even better. We have options, and our team will work hard to get you behind that wheel today. Stop stressing. Start driving. Because at Big A Auto Sales, the A stands for approved. Come see us at Big A Auto Sales, 1216 North Cashua Drive. Or call our team at 843-661-7272. Or you can look us up at bigaflorence.net. Check out our inventory.
Trust DPM Property Maintenance for professional landscape design and installs on new and existing properties, commercial and residential. From irrigation system installs and upgrades to stunning outdoor lighting and audio, DPM prioritizes quality over quantity. They never rush through a job, making sure it's done right the first time, every time. Call Tyler Davison today at 843-617-2038 for your free estimate. Find them on Facebook at Davison Property Maintenance, LLC. DPM Davison Property Maintenance, bringing your vision to life with trust and quality.
Get ready to ride for a reason. It's the Toys for Tots ride happening Sunday, November 30th from 2 to 5 p.m. Kickstands up at 2 p.m. sharp, starting at Darlington Raceway and finishing at Blackjack Harley-Davidson. Join riders from across the PD as we roll out to bring holiday cheer to local kids in need. All proceeds go directly to Toys for Tots, helping make Christmas brighter for families right here at home. Food will be available from Sophia's Pizzeria, serving up fresh, hot slices all afternoon. This ride is open to all riders and supporters. Just bring a new unwrapped toy or a monetary donation and join in the fun. Let's make this holiday season unforgettable for local kids with the Toys for Tots ride. Sunday, November 30th, 2 to 5 p.m. from Darlington Raceway to Blackjack Harley-Davidson. Presented by Blackjack Harley-Davidson and the Darlington Raceway.
Another outstanding value on CarolinaSaves.com. We have a couple of Icon electric bikes from Electric Motor Sales and Service and R&W golf carts. Includes charger, toolkit, helmet, and 1-year warranty. Click the Florence and Sumter tabs.
Fox Creek Golf Club invites you to enjoy their winter special. $29 for 18 holes every Tuesday or Thursday. Play 18 holes any other day for $35. Fox Creek Golf Club is just minutes from Florence, Hartsville, and Sumter. Book your tee time today. Fox Creek Golf Club.
Mark your calendars for Saturday, December 13th. One big day, many great deals. Christmas Saves returns to your radio Saturday, December 13th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Every item at ChristmasSaves.com is 50% off. And when ChristmasSaves.com gets underway, the Crazy Wayne deals come out. Listen for huge price drops during the Crazy Wayne specials and don't miss out. Complete your Christmas shopping in one day without leaving the comfort of home. ChristmasSaves.com. Coming December 13th, beginning at 10 a.m. on this station.
Lynch's River County Park is kicking off the holiday season in grand fashion with its 12th annual Wildlife Winterfest Sunday, December 6th. Come see live animal shows from Black Creek Wildlife Center. Enjoy holiday lights and music, games, bouncy houses, Christmas movies on the Jumbotron, and snow weather permitting. There will also be food trucks, and best of all, Santa will be there for free photos from 5 to 7:30. There's family fun for all at Wildlife Winterfest, December 6th from 5 to 8 p.m. at Lynch's River County Park. For more information, contact the Environmental Discovery Center.
Hey everybody, it's Matt from Game Day in the Carolinas. Jump on the tailgate with Woody and me every Saturday morning from 10 to noon. Right here on the PD's 96.3 ESPN Radio, we will have all your news and notes to get your sports weekend started right.
Tim's Auto Pro, CRW Insurance, Daniel Wealth Management, Mr. Sparky, Piggly Wiggly, FTC, Jones Chevrolet, Mickey Fins, Practical Purpose Solutions, Florence Toyota, Darlington Country Club, Frazier Tire, and Rivals Store Divided.
This is the college football preview from the Sports Talk Media Network. Phil Kornblut along with Chris Bergen. It is Palmetto Bowl week in South Carolina. Nothing else matters. South Carolina, Clemson, Clemson, South Carolina, however you want to define it, it is the game of the year in the Palmetto State. Chris Bergen, Gamecocks, the home favorites. Gamecocks have not been favored in this series since 2013. Home team has not won a game in this series since 2018. Make it all make sense.
I can't. And the interesting part about this is Clemson actually started as the favorite when the line initially came out. I don't know what changed in the bettors' minds, but everybody putting money on the Gamecocks. And Phil, you're right. If you want to bet this game, and for entertainment purposes only, I would bet the under, not necessarily one of these two teams. I don't know how you trust either one of the teams. There's a reason we have not been all excited about what's to come after this weekend because, for the most part, neither one of these teams, the Gamecocks are going to wrap up the season on Saturday, and Clemson's got a bowl game to play, and it's certainly not, as you pointed out with Dabo at his press conference earlier this week, not what they normally expect to have after the matchup with the Gamecocks. They're usually getting ready for the ACC title game, the college football playoff, and the like, but the under has hit in 6 of the last 7 matchups in Columbia. For whatever reason, this is always a defensive game, and it looks like Clemson always finds a way to win. As a matter of fact, the last 5 games in Columbia, the Tigers have beaten up on the Gamecocks to the average of 31-10. So South Carolina's got to figure out a way to start faster and do a much better job at home against Clemson because they just have not the last half decade or so.
You know, you look at the quarterbacks in last year's game, they both had their moments. They both had terrific numbers. Sellers ran for 166. He threw for about 170. And, of course, he had that fantastic touchdown run that turned out to win the ball game for the Gamecocks. But Cade Klubnik also had a big day throwing the football, had huge numbers, and he ran the ball well. But right now he's remembered for that interception on the last possession when the Tigers were in position to kick a field goal, but he forced a pass, and it was picked off, and the Gamecocks won the game. That's what South Carolina is hoping for. They're hoping that they can make Klubnik uncomfortable and force him into turnovers. Turnovers have always been a big factor when South Carolina's won this game in recent years. Clemson has turned the ball over. Then again, Clemson is hoping that it faces a Lenore Sellers that is also a bit uncomfortable, overthrowing receivers, not able to run with the confidence that he ran with against them last year. That's the guy they want to see.
Yeah, had Lenoris won the Heisman last year, just for the sake of argument, his Heisman moment would have been that touchdown run against Clemson in the fourth quarter, because that would have been his Keith Jackson hello Heisman run for sure. But yeah, he was terrific, and I think that's why there was so much in terms of hype and expectations on this Gamecock team going into the season because of the way they finished. They have not been the same team, and partly because they lost so many guys off defense, and that's a bigger concern. I mean, to me, it's going to be interesting to watch, first off, how South Carolina's offensive line can handle the defensive front of Clemson. Gamecocks have not been very good all season long. They're playing a little bit better offensively since the firing of Lonnie Teasley. I just don't know that it's all because he's gone. I don't know what's changed, but they are playing a little bit better up front. But this is going to be a terrific challenge for them. And then on the flip side, Cade Klubnik going up against South Carolina's defense. In the last several years, I think you'd probably have to tip your cap to the job that Clayton White and the USC defense have done against Clemson's offense, especially on the road up at Clemson. Now they got to find a way to translate that to play at home. You wouldn't think that'd be a problem, but the Gamecocks just cannot play Clemson very well at home. I just don't understand it.
All right, your game, the game you'll be calling on Saturday, is Coastal Carolina at home against James Madison. And believe it or not, the nation should be paying attention to this game because of what it means to the playoffs.
Absolutely so, and I think James Madison, for whatever reason, the College Football Playoff Committee just doesn't like them. I think they should be a team that's definitely in the mix for that group of 5 bid into the CFP playoffs, but so far that has not been the case. Now, the interesting thing about them, they're coming off a win over Washington State, so they've got the former Pac-10 team that they were able to knock off last week. Phil, they've been tremendous on defense. They rank inside the top 10 nationally in run defense, giving up less than 100 yards a ball game. You know what Coastal wants to do? They want to run the football. So it's going to be, which side does it better or what they do well. And now with the injury to Samari Collier, there are still guys on defense that won't play on Saturday as well. So this is going to be a tall task. As difficult as the South Carolina game was for Coastal on Saturday, this one's going to be just as difficult because JMU is an outstanding football team, great dynamic quarterback in Alonzo Barnett. They're going to have their hands full on Saturday, and the one thing Coastal can do is play spoiler and maybe knock James Madison. Can't knock them out of the Sun Belt title game. They've already assured themselves of that next weekend, but they probably could put a final dent into their resume hopes for the CFP.
All right, two other South Carolina teams in action on Saturday, both in the D2 playoffs. Newberry will be at West Florida, and Benedict, for a third time, will be playing Albany State, this time again in Albany, Georgia. And waiting in the wings, South Carolina State to play the SWAC champion in the Celebration Bowl. That'll be December 13th in Atlanta. That'll do it for the college football preview. For Chris Bergen, this is Phil Kornblut on the Sports Talk Media Network.
They are like no other. They are the heroes, the warriors, the ones who are always there. Pepsi of Florence, Lee's Tire and Auto, Palmetto Mining, and community broadcasters salute our first responders of the PD. We thank our police, sheriff's deputies, firefighters, and EMTs. Join us along with White Swan Cleaners, A&J Firearms, Big A Auto Sales, Venus Restaurant and Catering, Blackjack Harley Davidson, Dreaming Ink Tattoos of Florence and Hartsville, the Florence Center, and Darlington Chainsaw in honoring these great men and women by nominating them for our First Responders Call to Courage. Head on over to scfirstresponders.com and fill out the form. We will be recognizing 8 first responders on 99.3 The Cat with Palmer in the morning and have them tell us their stories on the air. While others run from dangerous situations, these first responders run toward the danger to help us. We encourage you to go to scfirstresponders.com today and nominate a local hero. Genesis Healthcare is hiring now. Explore open employment opportunities and make a real impact in your community. Apply today at genesisfqhc.org and check out all of their available positions online. Genesis Healthcare, where care and purpose come together.
Another amazing deal from CarolinaSaves.com. The Granite Store Design Center. 50 square feet of quartz countertop, 3 centimeters thick, includes stainless steel sink, does not include demolition or plumbing. Go to CarolinaSaves.com and click on the Florence tab.
From the Florence Toyota Studios, this is WOLH Florence, 96.3 ESPN Radio, the worldwide leader in sports.
Coming up after the game, it's the South Carolina High School Scoreboard Show on 96.3 ESPN Radio.
Welcome back to the 4A playoffs here in the state of South Carolina here on 96.3 ESPN Radio for your South Carolina Game of the Week. Your halftime score, South Florence 35 and Gray Collegiate 7. And Chuck, as we get ready to start this second half, it was business as usual for the Bruins as Coy Joyner kicks this one away, a line driving kick to the left side there as it is Gant again on the return. Gets to the 20, makes a man miss and down there. But, Chuck, as we were saying, it has been business as usual for the Bruins in that first half, and they are 24 minutes away from another chance at a state championship.
Yeah, as cold as it is out here tonight, James, and the weather is freezing cold. Guess who's not cold? South Florence. They are hot tonight. They are on fire. This better be a good drive for for Gray Collegiate. Otherwise, it's not too long from this game just being done.
As we have been impressed with young Xavier Wright so far, but he's going to need some help here in this second half. As the freshman quarterback will have it in the gun here. 1st and 10, he'll look to throw, firing over the middle of the field. He's got his man at the 30. A nice post route there by Royce Williamson as he's going to be brought down at the 35-yard line as he got back up and kept running, but he was definitely brought down there in the secondary. It'll be a nice gain of about 17 or 18 yards and a first down for Gray Collegiate.
And maybe they went to halftime to get a script going for this particular drive because that's the best, not the best play they've had all night, but one of their better plays, but the best throw that I've seen.
Definitely one of the best passing plays there, as that gets them all the way out to the 35-yard line. First down, War Eagles. They come out 3 wide receivers, Williamson to the left, Gant and C.J. Gleaton to the right. Low snap as he has trouble finding the football there, and Trevion Williamson just has to fall on it. A low snap at the feet of Xavier Wright. Good heads-up play there by both the backs, but a loss of 2 there for the War Eagles.
Yeah, that center struggled tonight a little bit, getting it back to Wright. We've already seen him throw the ball high about 4 times. Just then, they're lucky that he got on that ball. Really heads-up play by the tailback.
Williamson, yes, sir.
Williamson.
One of the few Williamson. That was Trayvon Williamson. 2nd down and 13 after the bad snap. Wright stays in the gun. This one's a perfect snap. He'll drop to throw. He's got a clean pocket, fires into the flat to Gleaton, who's got it. Tries to make one man miss, but a great tackle in space. That was Amari Reeves to bring him down. Only a gain of 2. It'll be 3rd down and 9.
That was an impressive hold by their offensive line, however, from what I saw. But guess what? Every player that is a receiver on the other team was covered.
No one downfield. He just had to check it down. And Amari Reeves has been on fire. Had a kick return for a touchdown following his 3 defensive scores last week. 3rd and 9 for the War Eagles. Staying in that 3 wide receiver set, right in the gun. He'll look to throw. He's got a clean pocket, fires over the middle, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jewel Washington, and he's going to take this one across the 20. Tackled at the 15, and another big turnover for the Bruins.
Nice defense by South Florence, and just ready to run it back. However, there is a flag, so I'm not sure what this penalty is, James. It was at the end of or not necessarily the end of the play, but at the end of the run.
It looked like, yes, that was definitely after the turnover. They went back to that post route, and that time the coverage adjusted, and Jewel Washington, he just threw it right to him.
It was a hold during the run back, James.
We'll see where they mark this off. He was down at the 15, so they'll mark it back probably to the 25-yard line or thereabouts.
Should be 10 yards from where the hold was, and it looked like the hold, like you said, was at the 15.
Yes, sir.
So, yep,
yeah, they'll mark
now
it at the
they're
25.
marking, they're pointing the other direction also.
No, they pointed it to South Florence. It's South Florence football moving that way. 1st down at the 25-yard line for the Bruins. Jewel Washington with a big interception there. Right second of the day. And with 9:52 to go, the Bruins looking to extend this already 28-point lead.
Yeah, that was their opportunity, and they just gave away their possession in the first.
2 tight end set. They're going to give it up the middle to Cameron James. Not much running room there for Cam James. Only maybe got back to the line of scrimmage there. Nice tackle there by Caleb Holmes and Michael Boulware.
Yeah, don't give up if you're Gray Collegiate, and you love to see that from these players. It's very rare that you'll see them always give up, but I don't think Gray Collegiate's going to. They're going to keep fighting even if they're down.
They believe in their team. They still think they have a chance in this football game, but it's got to start here on this defensive possession as they send June Perkins in motion to the right. They'll pitch it to Cam James, and he'll follow him going right side. A nice scamper for about 4 or 5 yards there to the 20-yard line. I'm marking right at the 19, actually. Gain of about 4. It'll be 3rd down and 6 for the Bruins coming up here just outside the red zone.
Yeah, it was good pursuit by their defense to limit him to the yardage that he was able to get. Cam James is so fast. Good defense. I'm just going to say it like that.
They stay in that 3 wide receiver set. 2 to the right, 1 to the left is Malik Robinson. Hard count from Messiah Jackson. He'll check to the sideline here. 9:13 to go. Inside 10 seconds this time. It'll be a keeper all the way from Messiah Jackson. Not the best snap as he runs right into the pile. Not much running room as that was Rivers, number 11 for the War Eagles, to swallow him up for a minimum gain. It'll be 4th down and 5.
I mean, what we know from Drew Marlowe, and like you said, yeah, Rivers wrapped him up. He didn't go anywhere on that play. Messiah Jackson didn't. But this is a big play, and this is how Drew Marlowe is. He's not going to bring a kicker out to get 3 points. He's going to send this and try to get a touchdown or get a 1st down.
At the 20, they go back to that empty set that's been so good running the football with Messiah Jackson. He'll going to keep it. Quarterback counter running left side. He runs hard, running forward. Messiah Jackson still plows forward inside the 10, inside the 5, and down with goal to go for the Bruins. An unbelievable effort by the offensive player of the year, Messiah Jackson.
It's his new move, evidently, James, because he did the same thing that time, except for this time he went down about 3 yards, then turned his body around and started using his behind again and pushing back forward. And you saw how much yardage he got, and that's when the offensive line got in there to help him.
A huge run.
I haven't seen him use that style yet. He's just actually just backing up. It's almost like a truck going beep, beep.
A 15-yard run there. He was stuffed right at the line. But like you said, Chuck, just
backing
up and gaining a big run there. Just so tough to bring down is Messiah Jackson as we have a stoppage of play here, trying to get everything set up. Clock stopped, 8:22 to go. It's still first down and goal for the Bruins at the 4-yard line. We have a little bit of a discussion here by the officiating crew. Coach Marlowe yelling something across the field. So we'll have to see what's going on here. A lot of confusion looks like down on the field right now after that play.
Yeah, I didn't see any flag or anything, so I still don't see one down, but maybe there was one. No, okay.
As it is, I think they were trying to see if it was a late fumble there by Messiah Jackson at the end of that run, but they marked his forward progress down. And then back in that empty set here on 1st and goal for Messiah Jackson. High snap, but he's going to field it. Running right side into the end zone. Touchdown, Messiah Jackson. His 4th rushing touchdown of the game.
With him on offense and Amari Reeves on defense scoring, I don't know what else they need, because he almost turned himself around to do that, but then he do his backup move that I'm seeing tonight. I've never seen it before, and then he almost did it, but then he saw he could get in, and nobody touched him. Just a dominant drive again. What we're used to, though, James, we've seen it over and over and over. Who thought it would happen in this game?
Coy Joyner on, snaps down, kick is up. And the Bruins with 7:39 and counting as the clock already running here with the Bruins up 35. 42-7 your score, the defending champs rolling. As Coach Marlowe is still discussing here on the sideline, we do have a running clock, though, as the Bruins dominant once again, like you said, Chuck.
Oh, they started the running clock a little early tonight, James. Usually it's at 42 points. This time it's at 35. And what we found out in the playoffs is that the coaches can get together and decide to do this.
Now the clock has stopped at 7:13, so that was a decent little runoff there. I'm not sure if it was intentional or not. We'll have to check and see here as they get ready to line up here for the kickoff. Coy Joyner ready as Gleaton and Gant back deep to return. The clock stays at 7:13 as Coy Joyner kicks this one away. Back to that corner where Gant is, but it's going to bounce at the 1 and into the end zone for another Bruin touchback. Out to the 20 comes the War Eagle offense.
And Joyner's special team kicking has been phenomenal all year. Another example of how to keep them from getting good field positions and being able to return the ball. So with this said, they've got to bring this next week.
The Bruins not flinching. They want to finish here in the second half strong as they await the outcome of the Upper State Championship game. But locked in here on the War Eagles. Play fake 4 right as he looks to throw. Hit hard by Terry Gordon. Ball's batted up into the air and caught by Gleaton, who bounces off of a man running right side. All things are said and done. He's tackled after about a 6-yard gain. But Wright got blasted by Terry Gordon, but a lucky catch there.
He definitely got blasted, but what a phenomenal concentration by number 2, because that ball was just up in the air, probably about 18 feet up in the air, just wobbling around, and he was able to catch it and about 3 other people around him as far as South Florence Bruins go. And then he ran for about 15 yards and gained 6.
That was a hectic play for sure. After all things are said and done, it would be 2nd down and 4. Gray Collegiate taking a decent time to get out of the huddle here. Only 7 seconds on the play clock as they get set here. Everybody set 3-2. He gets the ball into Travion Williamson, running hard up the middle. Met immediately by Warnell Prue and company and thrown backwards for maybe a gain of 1 or 2. It'll set up 3rd down and 1.
Yeah, it's 3rd down and short, like you said. So one of the better drives so far by Gray Collegiate to put themselves in a position to put themselves at 3rd and short for a manageable 1st down. Let's see if that South Florence defense doesn't stuff
3rd
it.
and 1. They go under center here quickly. They try a quarterback sneak, but there's a flag down. They didn't get it anyways, but that's going to be a false start, looks like, as well on the War Eagles. It is, and that's going to back them up 5. maybe lucky to back them up 5 because that wasn't going to go anywhere.
Yeah, we'll give them another shot, but those penalties always make big mistakes, and they're just a drive killers. But like you said, I saw it too. It looked like they had already stopped him anyway. So they're lucky to get another play out of it.
Make it 3rd down and 6, 5:50 and counting here. Third quarter action as the Bruins defense looking to continue this masterclass. Deep safety Amari Reeves. He'll play fake to Williamson, does right, fires to the left flat, hit hard, and dropped his sweat. Jewel Washington came up and absolutely obliterated him at the 28-yard line and brings up a 4th down and 2.
That's where that defense has stepped up again, and of course, Gray Collegiate's going to have to go for it right here.
It sets up a 4th down. They call it a 1 yard to gain here as the chance of defense come through Bruin Stadium here. Big blitz looking from the Bruins as Gray Collegiate looks to the sideline here for the play call. And sensing the importance of this 4th down, Coach Bryant will call his first time out of this second half. And the roars from the Bruin faithful here in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think that's a good, smart decision by Gray Collegiate Bryant right now. He needs to calm his team down. He needs to try to get this first down, get a really good design play for it, because they're going to have to go for it, unless they're just giving up on the game.
Right here at the 30, we just got an update here. South Point up 27-0 at halftime against against Westside, who they played last year in the championship, did the Bruins. So it's looking like it'll be the South Point, I believe they're the Stallions or the Broncos. Stallions, yes, sir. Here comes the Gray Collegiate offense here. 4th down and 1 here from the 29-yard line. Big, heavy set here as they have Bullware in on offense. They're going to fake it to Williamson. Right fires over the middle. Underthrown. Incomplete. Intended for J.P. Sweat over the middle. Great coverage that time. That was Hall, the safety, to break it up. And a turnover on downs for the Bruin defense.
And I can see where their receiver would be a little bit frustrated. It was good coverage, but once again, he never turned around to locate the ball. I think it might have just been a maybe too far of a thrown pass, but I'm surprised there wasn't a flag on that, because he did run into him.
Gray Collegiate unable to get a first down, and back out comes the Bruins. Here with 5 minutes to go, looking to salt this third quarter away.
And I'm not sure what happened a few minutes ago, James, but they let about 30 seconds run off the clock, or at least 20.
They did. They give it to Gabe McLaughlin up the middle. Tough running as he still moves that pile forward for a gain of 7 yards. He was stopped about 3 yards and just kept those legs moving.
Yeah, that's what you call stumbling, bumbling, rumbling type of running right there, where he didn't want to give up, James, and he kept getting pushed around, but he didn't care. 7 yards. His offensive line also helped, of course.
2nd down and 4. They line up empty set here, but they're going to continue to shift. We've seen that a lot from the Bruins here in the playoffs. They like to shift those linemen and tight ends around. They look to throw. Jackson fakes to McLaughlin, firing into the end zone, incomplete. Intended for June Perkins, and a late flag flies. C.J. Gleaton in coverage. Looks like it's going to be called for some type of defensive holding or PI.
Yeah, I imagine that's going to be pass interference. That ball was pretty well overthrown, so I don't know if they should have actually called the pass interference. I don't know if it was catchable. But with that said, with that hold, could have kept him from looking like it could have been catchable as well. So that's why we have the referees, not me.
They do call a straight pass interference on C.J. Gleaton on the defense.
Yeah, that's what it looked like to me.
And
I didn't really see him holding him or grabbing him. It looked like he just kind of attacked him.
Wrapped around there at the end, yes, sir. That'll be a first down for the Bruins as they mark the football up at the 12-yard line here. And the Bruins having it any way they'd like, running, throwing, forcing the penalty there.
I mean, this is what they've been doing the whole time, James. This is, and I've said it already, the recipe, the schedule, stuff that you talked about. Keep it on schedule, and they're doing it again.
Jackson checks to the sideline here. Plenty of time on the play clock here. Clock stopped with 4:09 to go here, third quarter. As Jackson makes a change at the line of scrimmage now, sets back up in the gun. Two tight ends. They send that big blitz. They run right at it with Gabe McLaughlin pushing forward. Again, tough, hard yards by Gabe McLaughlin, still pushing forward all the way past the 10, looks like, is where number 13 will be marked down. He didn't end up with the football there, but I think they marked his forward progress down. Call it 3 yards.
Yeah, just hard earned yards scoring right there, James. Just having to go out the middle and just keep fighting for it. But he's the back that also can do it. Gabe McLaughlin's a big dude.
McLaughlin staying in the game here on this drive. 2nd down and 7. In the gun is Jackson. He's going to fake it to McLaughlin running right side. He's got a block on the corner, fighting his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Messiah Jackson. Having a day is number 7. His 5th rushing touchdown of the game.
Yeah, and they can't stop him at all, as you can tell. That's why he's got 5 touchdowns.
Big block there on the edge by number 68, Travis Sansbury, to spring Messiah Jackson into the end zone. The score now, Bruins 48 and Gray Collegiate 7 with Corey Joyner's point after pending.
Yeah, he was tackling the ball instead of Jackson just then, just trying anything different.
Blocked. Corey Joyner has it blocked and picked up in the end zone. They're going to mark that dead there. But a big block there by the special teams unit of North Augusta. That'll frustrate the special teams unit of the Bruins. But the score stays 48-7 with 3:16 to go here in the third quarter. And the Bruins continue dominating.
And unfortunately for Gray Collegiate, that penalty or that play right there, that misplay, unless coaches have agreed to something else, will keep this clock at a steady regular clock, because 41 will not get them to 42.
Yep. We're at 41 still, so not in play of a running clock yet. Out trots the special teams unit for Gray Collegiate here, as they have had a couple of pretty big returns, haven't been able to spring one for a touchdown. Unlike Amari Reeves, who was able to spring a long 99-yarder. Coy Joyner tees it up here at the 40.
The way he's been kicking, he'll be getting it into the end zone, or at least giving himself a good spot to be able to stop them.
They've kicked it to Gant a lot. Haven't kicked it to Corey C.J. Gleaton. This one, nice driving kick that'll make it about 2 yards into the end zone for another touchback. And down 41, out comes the War Eagle offense.
And he's definitely a weapon as far as Joyner goes. I'm glad that he's on the South Florence team, because they're going to need him next week.
Against an explosive South Point team. Not going to want to be able to give up any big returns.
And that's it. They've got to finish their game as well. They're up, like you said, 27-0. But if they're anything like, it's looking like the same type of game that we're having here.
We'll keep everyone updated with the scores as they continue to come in, and make sure to tune in to Phil Kornblue after this for the high school scoreboard show, as they're going to give it running right side is right, handing it off to Royce Williamson that time. The speedy receiver lining up in the backfield for a gain of 2 that time.
Yeah, there's nothing up the middle for them all night, James. Maybe 1 or 2 plays, that's about it. They're not going to run. And I don't know if anybody is. We're going to find out next week. I know I'm bringing it up now, but we're going to be there next week, and that's why I'm bringing it up. We will bring you all the coverage live.
2nd down and 7 for the War Eagle offense here. 5 wide, 4 right here, trying to just get something going offensively as he straight drops, fires high, incomplete. Too high intended for Hazari Gant. It'll bring up 3rd down and long here. And even when Wright has had time to throw, just hasn't been as sharp as we expected him to be in some situations.
And just to add to this, James, we are in a running clock right now. Even though it's 41, they're continuing to let the clock run.
Both teams have agreed to let the clock run here. 48-7 with 2:08 to go here in the third quarter of your lower state championship game. Hazari Gant in motion, right in the gun. He'll take the shotgun snap, looking to throw, fires, left side, high, in. It is incomplete, in and out of the hands of Gant. And then a nice hit there at the end by Jaquez Johnson to make sure that ball didn't arrive on target. And it's 4th down again for the War Eagles. And out comes the punting unit, looks like.
Yeah, that ball hawking defense, they almost got another interception because their receiver tipped it up. I didn't see who almost got that interception, but he kind of dove, or not dove for it, but had his hands for it and just barely missed it.
Out trots Weston Mims, who's been impressive so far today in his punting and kicking here. He stands back at his 10, and he boots this one away. This one's a spiraling kick that'll bounce at the 49 and will go back and forth, but will die there at the 49-yard line of the Bruins.
And I apologize for saying they're going to a running clock, but they're letting time run off the clock and then stopping it, because right now they stopped it at 1:37, so I'm kind of confused. They're letting a lot of the seconds and time go off.
Yep.
Maybe it's just like I'm not sure what they're doing.
Yep. Minute 37 to go here, third quarter action. Clock stopped here as the Bruin offense takes the field at the 48-yard line. Cam James will trot out for this drive, and with Messiah Jackson, they line up 3 wide receivers to the right as they're going to look to throw. Firing to June Perkins on a little bubble screen, who wasn't able to corral that one in. That one just a little too out in front of him. It'll bring up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, he tried to pretend like he caught it just then, scooped it off the ground, but referee was right there to see that as well as us.
Messiah Jackson hasn't been asked to throw much. He threw that nice touchdown pass to Perkins off a play action in the red zone. But not many passing attempts for Messiah Jackson here tonight. Like we talked about, doesn't have to when the running game is this good, and the man's got 5 on the ground. 2nd down and 10 now. And again, this time they're going to give it to Cam James running left side as he bursts to the edge there, only a gain of 2 yards. Good defense there by Gray Collegiate. It'll be 3rd down and call it 7.
Yeah, one of the better plays by their defense all night to be able to stop James on that run.
Good job by Caleb Holmes, number 9 there, to defensive end, to be able to seal that edge and force James out. It'll be 3rd down and 7. They line up 3 wide receivers to the right as well as Cam James. Jackson will look and roll to the right and throw incomplete, intended for Cameron James, who just straight up dropped that in the flat. Had a lot of grass to go, but wasn't able to haul that one in. Brings up a 4th down and the second Bruin punt of the night.
Yeah, I'm surprised he dropped that, but I don't think he actually was going to get a whole lot of yardage. But who knows with the way he moves.
And that'll be a false start, as that was a little bit of early motion there by one of the gunners on the Bruin special teams unit. Back him up an extra 5.
He'd definitely be punting now. There's not going to be a fake, I wouldn't think at all. Not when you lose the yardage like that. And that's got to be disappointing if you're Drew Marlowe. You're trying to eliminate these kind of penalties.
C.J. Gleaton standing back at the 20-yard line to receive this Jackson punt. A minute 15 to go here, third quarter, as Jackson pressured, but able to get it away off the side of his foot. It takes a sideways bounce at the 40, takes a nice roll past the 25-yard line, and it'll roll dead at the 23-yard line. A solid punt there by Messiah Jackson. And with a minute 04 to go here in the third quarter, the Bruin defense will take the field again.
Just nice to get that extra yardage off that punt, because he kind of hit a little bit off the side of his foot, I would say, by the angle of it. But extra 10 yards just on the bounce, which is exactly what they needed.
That was the first time all night the Gray Collegiate really was able to get some pressure on Jackson on a punt like that. He was able to get it off pretty clean on that first one.
That's pretty much all the pressure they've gotten all night. They haven't been able to get much on anybody.
Bruins line up 2 deep safeties here, and in is the backup quarterback for Gray Collegiate as he hands it off, running right side. A nice carry there by Nate Dixon, the backup running back as well, the senior, with a nice carry. That is Tyler Waller, who was the starting quarterback to begin this year, who has played well throughout his career here. The senior will be finishing up his time on the field with his teammates as we approach the end of the third quarter here. 2nd down and 5. 4 wide receivers for Waller as he'll look to run it right side here. Shifty moves, but then pushed down hard into the backfield. A great tackle there by number 22. 29, Jewel Washington. Another big play there by that nice sophomore linebacker will bring up 3rd down and 6.
That might make him want to go back to sit down. And that might be a senior year, but he got popped, James, really hard. But I am glad to see that young man get his last chance to play. That freshman will have 3 more years to play. The senior will not, unless he's going to the next level, which I haven't seen anything about him going to the next level. So glad that Coach Bryant's given him some playing time.
And that will take us to the end of the 3rd quarter. 12 minutes to go before the Bruins will be preparing to take that state championship drive. We'll be back after this on your Florence Game of the Week. The Bruins up 48-7 after the break.
This Black Friday, get ready for the biggest High Point Furniture sale of the year. High Point Furniture is blowing out prices at both locations, 1916 West Evans Street in Florence and 873 Broad Street in Sumter. Save big on living rooms, bedrooms, dining sets, recliners, sectionals, mattresses, and more. Top brands, huge discounts, and everything priced to move now through the end of the month. Don't wait. Once it's gone, it's gone. Get to High Point Furniture in Florence and Sumter. Quality furniture, unbeatable savings, High Point Furniture.
We now return to the high school football game of the week on 96.3 ESPN Radio.
Welcome back to your lower state championship here. The 4A state semifinals here at South Florence High School is the defending champion Bruins up 48-7 here on the Gray Collegiate War Eagles, as we have officially reached what we would call garbage time, as we have a decent amount of second stringers in there for Gray Collegiate here on this 3rd down and 6, as Waller will look to throw, fires left side as he was hit as he throws, and he got it complete to Sweat running hard across the 40. A nice play there is that'll be 2 seniors meeting up that time. Excuse me, Sweat is junior, but a 1st down there.
Yeah, but he took a pop to get that ball out of there. This young man's getting hit a good bit since he first got in the game. I feel a little bit bad for him.
And that was Willie Kennedy coming in, blazing off that left side. 1st and 10 now for Waller at the 40, as he's going to throw a screen pass to Gant. Nice cut back there by Gant at the 50-yard line to gain some extra yardage out to the 45, where he dives down. And that's a nice play there by the War Eagles to move the ball into Bruin territory.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if the Bruins have got their second string out there or something, because this is the best drive they've had in a while.
Yeah, I see a bunch of starters out there still.
Yeah, no, I
the
just
Bruins.
was trying to figure it out for them.
At the 44, Waller looks to throw, pressure in his face immediately, steps up to throw, fires deep and high, and it's caught. Will Wilson lost track of the ball, and C.J. Gleaton hauled it in at the 10, and he's thrown down inside the 5. Will Wilson just lost the football in the light there, or didn't realize the ball was coming to him, and Waller just threw it up, and he hauled it in.
Yeah, Willis didn't even react to it at all. The ball was way up in the air near him. He didn't see it, like you said. I don't know if he lost it or what, but he didn't react to it either.
One of the biggest plays of the day through the air for the War Eagles. 1st and goal inside the 5. They give it to Dixon running right side, diving into the pile. He'll be down at about the 1.5-yard line.
Well, this senior quarterback has put a little bit of spark to their drive so far, I'll say that. And he's willing to step in there and take the hits to deliver a ball. He's been doing pretty well so far.
Just heaving up a prayer. It was answered, though. As they stay in the gun, Waller with Dixon to his left. Michael Bulware in at fullback as well as Sweat. They motion him both to the right side, and this will be Waller faking it, running left side, and he's tripped up and not able to get there. Looked like he had a lot of running room, but a great play there. I believe that was Miles Johnson. No, was that 32? That was Reginald Kennard Jett, the defensive back, getting in there fast to bring up a 3rd down.
Yeah, I don't know how he stopped him from getting in there at all, James. Golly.
Tripping up Waller just shy of the end zone, setting us up a 3rd down with a yard to go in the gun. Waller, quarterback power, right side, puts his head down and met a wall and stood up. The Bruins won't let him have it.
That's that Brendan Williams in there on that. You can't go up that middle like that, even if it is short yardage. He's a big dude.
Brendan Williams clogged the lane, and Willie Kennedy and crew forced him backwards, and the chance of defense reign again here at South Irby Street. 4th down and goal. The Bruins up big here, but they couldn't tell by the crowd as they want to keep this offense out. 10 on the play clock here. 9:15 to go, fourth quarter. Waller in the gun with Dixon behind him. Fake it to Dixon. Bootleg to the right. Waller's mix and man miss. Still looks to throw. Fires last second. Incomplete. Intended for Michael Woolware. Broken up by Jacquez Johnson. And that's another turnover on down for the Bruin defense.
That's the kind of stuff you want to see right there, James. When your team gets put in first and goal.
From the 5, yes, sir.
And then they stop them 2 straight plays right there at the 3 straight plays right there at the 1 yard line after about a 3-yard gain on first play. That's what you want to see. That's the kind of level we want to see going to next week right there. Now let's see what they do as far as trying to, they still got their first team offensive out there. They're going to go ahead and try to get this last score so they can get this game to a running clock because for some reason we're still not at one. I know it's 41 points. I get it.
9:02. Ball at the 2-yard line is where Messiah Jackson and Cameron James will start. Cameron James will take this handoff going left side. Got a little running room across the 10 as he scampers out of bounds, using that speed to get that edge as Cameron James does another Bruin first down, and they're out of trouble.
Yeah, that's just showing his speed. You saw how quick he got out there. Just really such a fast running back. As tiny as it is, and we talk about that a lot, but that's also to make sure people understand he might be small, but he is one of the most explosive backs we've been watching all year. And we've seen other backs on these other teams that are supposed to be, quote, unquote, Division I talent.
Absolutely.
And he's outshined all of them all year long in every game we've watched.
You're absolutely correct about that. Back in the gun is Messiah Jackson and James here. First down and 10 from the 12 as they're going to give it to Cameron James. Patient running and outburst of speed. Cameron James at the back end. Will he be caught across the 50? Finally tracked down at the 30-yard line. But a huge run by Cameron James of 60 yards.
He's got to be a little bit tired or something because Lightning normally don't get caught like that, James. That defensive back exploded down there to make that tackle. I'm not exactly sure how he caught up to him, but the only thing I can think is, like I said, he's a little bit tired.
Cameron James showing that speed all the way to the 30-yard line. And like you said, Chuck, he's going to need a breather after that huge run. But right on cue, Cameron James, such an engine for this offense. A lot of question marks going into the season for the Bruins as to who would be that lead tailback. But no question, 22 has been a superstar this season.
And Thunder's right there with him, James. I don't want to take him out. But, yeah, between the two right now, yes, he is the more dominant running back.
This time it'll be Messiah Jackson, quarterback keeper running right side. A lot of white jerseys there to bring him down. That was Sweat and Ty Rivers. Maybe a gain of a yard for the quarterback there, 2nd down and 9.
Yeah, good pursuit by them at this point in the stage of the game because you know you got to be a little bit disappointed if you're Gray Collegiate. You know your season's already over. Nobody's coming back from this score.
Not with 7:40 and counting here.
No, and if you're the coach, a lot of these players are juniors, so you want to see this effort because next year they're going to be probably back in this same position, at least in the playoffs. Gray Collegiate is a very dominant team. They just have to get themselves better in 4A because they're used to playing in 2A.
9 starters for Gray Collegiate seniors. Messiah Jackson drops the throw, fires deep into the end zone and incomplete. Looks like there's going to be some pass interference on the back end intended for Malik Robinson, but the defensive back never turned his head around and just overran the receiver right there. And that'll be another first down for the Bruins.
That was intended for Perkins.
Both of them were down there. It might have been
Full
Perkins.
came over there afterwards. Yes, sir.
Gotcha. Sorry about that. It was Perkins, the intended receiver there.
I know. We just like to get stuff right, James. That's all. We're teammates. Just like all the South Florence people out there tonight.
It'll be first down and goal here. We'll see where they mark that penalty yardage off. Yes, it'll be first down at the 15-yard line now for the Bruins.
And it's nice to see them try some pass plays because they're going to probably have to pass some against South Point. And I would imagine South Point is still up right now. I'm sure MJ will be giving us an update shortly.
Ben Tyner checking into the game here now. 3 wide receivers for the Bruins. 7:13 to go here in the 4th quarter. The Bruins putting the finishing touches on a beautiful home campaign this season, as will be the last time these seniors take the field here at Bruin Stadium. Jackson hard counts, checks to the line here. Sets back up in the gun. Fake to Gabe McLaughlin. Fires short, incomplete. That ball came out kind of funky out of his hands. Intended for Ben Tyner on that slant they got earlier. It'll be incomplete.
Yeah, that was a little weird how it came out, James. It kind of just dropped after about 5 yards. I'm not exactly sure if he just didn't have a grip on it or what happened.
2nd down and 10 as, again, now DJ James coming in for Ben Tyner. Going between that 3 wide receiver set and that 2 tight end set. That's really the money for the Bruins all season long. 2nd down and 10 in that 2 tight end set. Gabe McLaughlin in the backfield with Messiah Jackson running left side now. Gabe McLaughlin's got running room at the 5, into the end zone. Touchdown, Gabe McLaughlin off that left side of the offensive line. Untouched till he crossed the goal line. And the Bruins up 54-7 with 7 minutes to go in your semi-state finals.
Yeah, they're just here to go ahead and start this clock because they kept playing around with starting to run the clock for some reason and start it, stop it. Guess what? South Florence said, guess what? We're going to a running clock, and we're ready to get to the state championship.
Coy Joyner's kick this time is true. The Bruins 55 and the War Eagles 7.
And just a little announcement to make next week when we're at the state playoffs. It sounds like me and James are going to be allowed to be on game day of the Carolinas.
Excited to join Woody Fagan and Matt Jordan.
Yes, sir.
For a wonderful pregame show. Looks like the kickoff for the 4A championship will be at noon in Orangeburg. We'll provide you all the details on our social medias of where you can find the coverage on YouTube, Facebook, and of course on 96.3 ESPN Radio here in Florence.
And you better believe I'm excited, especially being an alumni who's followed the football program since I've graduated through newspapers. That's how I had to first start. There wasn't social media. There wasn't anything like that for me to view as far as computer goes. There wasn't a lot. You had to get magazines or you did it through the newspaper. Just been keeping up with them so long that I'm so excited to be able to finally go. And I'm actually going to be able to call the game with my friend James here.
Looking forward to it. Yes, sir.
Never thought I'd be doing this in my life.
Get to watch the pinnacle of high school football here in the great state of South Carolina. It'll be an absolute pleasure. And we're looking forward to following these Bruins for hopefully another state championship as Coy Joyner kicks this one away. Right to Gann on a line drive as he fields it at the 8-yard line. Runs up to the 20. Has a nice seam across the 30. Dancing down that sideline as he'll be marked out of bounds right at the 40-yard line. A couple of nice returns for Hazari Gant tonight.
Yeah, they've definitely, this is the one thing I have seen that Coach Marlowe is definitely going to work on. Their special teams is really, really good, but that has been 3 solid returns by them over, like you said, a couple. That's 3 of them that they've done very, very well, getting at least 30 yards on the carries. Not something you want to see if you're Drew Marlowe against South Point, I wouldn't think.
As Waller comes back out here to lead what could be his final drive as a Gray Collegiate War Eagle, as he's going to hand it off. Dixon runs hard right side, and a big run as he's got it down the sideline at the 40. 35, finally dragged down as he crosses the 30-yard line, tackled from behind by Rashard Park. But one of the best run plays of the night, that time from Mr. Nate Dixon, the senior.
And a little bit that's going to be because right now Drew Marlowe is trying to get his second string a little playing time just in case they have to fill in some in the state championship, because right now that's what's going on. They were able to get one of their better plays.
We are seeing a lot of the second teamers for the Bruins in there now. Up 55-7 with 5:32 to go. No running clock at the moment here.
It was on it, but they called a timeout. So when they call a timeout, they do have to stop it.
Yes, they're going to call a timeout here. Does Gray Collegiate here with 5:32 to go. And the Bruin faithful getting ready to celebrate here and make plans to follow their team down to Orangeburg next weekend. I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot of the Bruin faithful make the drive down there. Only about an hour away from Florence.
And of course, at this point, I know several of the parents that are on team, so I'm sure we'll see them. The center, Thayer, his dad's somebody that I know not fairly well, but I know at this point in my life. So I know they're really excited.
At the 31 is Gray Collegiate as a Low snap will be fielded and handed off to by Nate Dixon. Not much that time as that Bruin second team did a great job there. I believe the first man there was number 44, Josh Gant, the junior defensive lineman. 2nd down and 9. And we've seen Josh Gant make a few nice plays here on this second team unit for this Bruin second team.
Yeah, and that's definitely what you want to see if you're Drew Marlowe for next season and for the game that's coming up. They need to have any players available and get experience for them. What a great experience to get experience in the lower state championship.
100%. Unbelievable. Inside 5 minutes to go here, 2nd down and 9. They're going to run it. It's a forward pass by Royce Williamson. It is incomplete. Nearly intercepted. Just a broken play from the jump. But man, oh man, was that about the easiest interception that number 46 Xavier Mitchell could have ever asked for right there.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. That looked like a punt the way it went up in the air, and it was flopping around. So I imagine it was kind of a hard catch. I get it was right there, but, man, that thing was turning end over end as well. He won't get an easier one than that, though.
Gray Collegiate tried to pull out the trick play there. The forward pass by Royce Williamson, not going to work. And now Waller, a hard count, got the Bruins second team to jump. One of the only mistakes by the Bruin defense penalty-wise today. And that'll be a free 5 yards for the War Eagles, making it a more manageable 3rd down, and we'll call it 5.
Yeah, and those are the mistakes that Marlowe does not want to see. And, of course, we don't either. But at the same time, still 3rd down. They have a chance to stop them again. 2 plays right here. And you want to be, if you're the second team, you want to show the first team also how good you are.
3:40 here and counting in the final quarter. Waller takes that shotgun snap, looks to throw, fires left side on a fade right into the end zone. It is caught. Touchdown, C.J. Gleaton. What a catch. Wonderful pitch and catch right there by the senior to the electric C.J. Gleaton, one of their best receivers, makes a big play there on just a nice fade ball.
It looked like that was Aiden Robinson, senior in coverage. He just didn't turn back on the ball at all. What a catch, though, like you said, James, and what a throw right in the corner. Best throwing play of the night for them.
And with 3 minutes and counting here as the running clock continues, the score, the Bruins 55. And we'll see here, snap down, kick is up. Mims' extra point is good. And Gray Collegiate 14. 2:45 counting here as, you know, no moral victories in a game like this for sure, but good for those seniors and for that Gray Collegiate offense to go out there and put together a good drive.
Yeah, but you can always tell your grandkids you threw a touchdown in the lower state championship in high school.
Yep.
So might not be something to be a moral, but at least it's a story he can tell one day. You always got to try to. I always try to make the best out of everything, James.
Absolutely.
So no, I believe in what you said. No moral victories allowed, but at least he's got a story.
It also shows as well. We've talked extensively about Xavier Wright, but I'm glad we got to see a little bit of Tyler Waller there. He is a talented senior quarterback, and you see why there. And it's such a tough decision to have somebody like a freshman come in for a senior there.
Yeah, because, you know, you want to think that you have loyalty sometimes to it. But if you got a better player, you got a better player. You have to play them. Your job is to coach the best players and to win.
2:27 clock stopped there in this 4th quarter. As Mims out for the kickoff here. Back deep are, looks like Cameron James, and sliding to the ground is Amari Reeves at the 21-yard line. Just a nice conservative return there by number 2 to get it past the 20.
Most definitely. Also to keep yourself from getting injured. Why take any kind of chance just then? You already got this game wrapped up.
We'll see if
the game clock's running right now. We got 1 minute and 56 seconds left, 55, 54. Yes, smart play by Amari Reeves.
We'll see if it's the Bruins second team, and it looks like it is here. And we'll see if they try to run some offense or if they'll just take a knee here.
I don't know. I'm glad to see everybody get an opportunity to play, though. That's really cool.
De'Eric Davis in at quarterback. Getting to see some action here in the playoffs. Handoff up the middle. Powerful run. Only a gain of 2 yards there. Good defense there by Gray Collegiate. That was number 28, Jaden Allen, the sophomore, on the carry. 2nd down and 8.
Yeah, but like I said, at least they're getting some experience. Both teams are, because they've got a lot of juniors and sophomores on Gray Collegiate. This is just good experience at this point for both of these teams because they got their second team in, and they've got either their second team or at least juniors and sophomores. Just nice to see everybody getting a little chance to play.
South Florence taking their time here. They'll have to snap the football one more time in this game. And then it's on to the state championship.
Yes, sir, my friend. I can't wait. Just run up the middle, and they stuff it straight up the middle, James.
Nothing there for Mr. Jaden Allen. Back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd down and 8, but they don't have to snap it again. And the Bruins will win their 4th straight lower state championship here in dominating fashion. Your final score, South Florence 55 and Gray Collegiate 14. Chuck, we thought that the Bruins definitely had an overall advantage tonight. I don't think we were expecting to see the type of complete performance here by the Bruins in a game. That means so much.
Not with that many Division I talent on the other side. We thought we were going to have a more competitive game. And like I said, next week, I'm going to say the same thing. I think we're going to have the best game we've seen all year, James, because so far, South Florence doesn't like to listen to me.
We are looking forward to a fantastic matchup next week in Orangeburg for the state championship game of the 4A region, as we'll get a confirmation here that the Bruins will more than likely be paying the number 1 4A team, South Point, from the upstate. And we'll be looking forward to that. We'll be having more details of that as the week continues here. But your final score, South Florence 55, Gray Collegiate 14. And we'll see you in the state championship game next week.
Yes, sir.
Thanks to all of our listeners and to MJ in the studio. Thank you and good night.
You've been listening to the 96.3 ESPN Radio High School Football Game of the Week, brought to you in part by Galloway Auto Glass, Stoudemire Dowling Funeral Home, Adams Metal Building Supply, Rivals, a store divided. This has been a presentation of Community Broadcasters Sports. Community Broadcasters and Pepsi of Florence invite you to join us in a season of giving, a tribute to Frank H. Avent. We will assist 6 anonymous families with basic needs for the holidays. The families will be provided by youth mentors of the PD, formerly Big Brothers Big Sisters, and the Boys and Girls Club of the PD. The inspiration for this program is Frank H. Avent, whose kindness and generosity did an incredible amount of good for our